And I turned around, there was a customer there talking to them. So I'm glad I didn't.
No, you should.
But also a little bit sad.
Because the customers would have got excited then.
Ah, we can see you have some real French people working here.
I like this one.
Okay, we are live. Welcome back to Fraternitatus Sabbatarius with our friends. We have here our good the Count von Dukenstein, who is now
You didn't even get the title right. He's a doctor.
Dr. Count von Dukenstein, who is a doctor, who is a zombie doctor. We have Bernie Face Lady, who is here with us as well.
I voted for her in Democrat primaries. Bernie Face Lady.
Bernie Face Lady, she's very, very popular.
We don't get introductions, I guess?
Nope.
Oh, we
and the rest.
and friends, I think is what we call them. Friends, why is the audio too loud? Is that what's going on? What's happening? Audio, hello. Toot, 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 toot. Is this better? Hello, hello. 1, 2, 3, testing. Is good? Hello, hi.
Your character's basically just a flamboyant pair of pants.
Yes. That is accurate.
I'm a flamboyant
on a
pair
boat.
of pants also.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. We're in a fucking weird situation right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're on the boat.
I'm on a boat.
Don't you ever forget those.
So who wants to? Oh, I'm gonna turn the lights on. That'll probably help. Actually, it looks pretty good right now. I'll turn it off. If it gets darker, I'll turn it off.
This will probably help keep it cooler. If they're off
Yeah.
anyway.
You think so?
Here, pop your collar. Oh, don't do that. No. Oh. I'm erect.
All right. So who would like to do a recapitulation, a recap of the previous game?
So we came out of a tube and went looking around a tube. And we found a guy that we thought was sleeping, but as it turns out was an elaborate marionette.
And he harpooned me to the fucking ground for several turns.
Yeah, we're kind of getting worried about Josh now. He's getting, he's falling apart.
You guys don't know how hard I'm falling apart though.
This guy hung out with some wolves for a while.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a polite way to put it.
Yeah.
You punched some wolves.
I punched some wolves to death. One of them presented itself to me.
Presented itself to you. That
Yeah.
sounds very erotic.
Well, that's what happened.
Okay.
I did not take advantage at the time.
I don't know what you're
You
talking
didn't
about.
really hang out with wolves. You chased after them. You didn't really hang out with them.
You weren't with wolves. He was
No.
with wolves.
Well, you went after them, but
No,
nothing.
I ran after
Yes.
underwater fishermen.
Yeah, we rested, we regrouped, and went
Did
and
you
explored.
forget that I caused all these explosions?
Right.
Oh yeah, you
You nearly killed us all.
I did, but
Yes. You pulled some strings. And,
Literally.
blasted me off the harpoon and had me pinned to the floor. So
yeah,
that's a win, kinda.
that's a win.
I'm missing a couple parts of my head.
We don't know that
Yeah.
yet, though.
Oh, I got a cool wolf eye too.
Yeah,
That's neat.
we also don't know that. We went exploring in the rest of this ice field underground and found a big hole in it, a big old swimming hole. After examining some monk houses, I jumped in the swimming hole, and then I was down there, and everyone else was not in the swimming hole.
And that's where we left off.
That's where we left off.
you're going after the shiny. I think you're the one that's left.
I was going to, but I don't know how to climb, so.
Well, some people don't know how to climb, but they do it anyway because they should have it on their character sheet. It's just not written there.
No.
Yeah.
So then they write it afterwards.
Yeah, I'll just write climbing in here at a 16.
Yeah, that sounds good. And then you can just reduce your dex by 3 points
Okay,
to make up for it.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's how you buy it off.
All right. At the end of the night, I was planning on rolling holy to figure out what my crazy new charms do.
Okay.
So,
So you're still in the water.
No, I'm on the boat.
Okay. Which is mostly submerged.
Yeah, most of it.
Well, there's a part that's not submerged, so he's gonna like sit cross-legged
So I
and
got
play with
8.
his charms.
8 of 10.
8 of 10 for which charm are you first looking at?
My fanned playing
The
cards.
fanned playing cards.
Yes.
That's okay. So the fanned playing cards, the fanned playing cards glow incredibly brightly. From what you'd ascertain from the strength of the charm is that they're an ancient charm, so they're quite powerful, and they do. It costs 5 fatigue to activate, but it allows you to re-roll a result.
Nice.
That's a good
And then the anchor that is currently attached to my boot.
Yep.
Nice. That is a 6 on 10.
Okay. The anchor is also an ancient holy relic, also, and it provides you with. It basically removes the when you are in the water. There is no water feels like air to you. You can walk through water like it's air. You can't breathe underwater, but you can walk on the bottom. You can move your hands.
Okay.
You can swing a sword with the same speed as you would swing a sword in
I'm
the
gonna
air.
fight a shark. Other resistance. Okay, cool.
And then some other people. Everyone wrote down on their new. They got new equipment, right? People got like a new bow.
I
You
got
both
a
got
bow.
new bows. What did you get?
I got
I got the helmet. That's what I got.
Yeah, and the handies.
Yes, yeah, the hammers.
Yeah.
Also, I never got the. So I picked up my sword. Remember when we went to the evilest fuck room?
Yes.
And I found like it was kind of like a saber.
Yes.
Okay. I saw that.
It did something.
Yeah, no, I never found out what it did. So I haven't used it yet. I've just had it with me.
You're gonna have to use it to
Oh, I know.
find
Oh, I
out
know
what it
that.
does. It's definitely pretty evil. I'm telling you that much.
Cool.
So
I like
so guys up there, you know the harpoon gun that guy had? Want to shoot a harpoon down here? Some rope attached to it.
Okay.
A lot.
Someone has to go get a harpoon gun. We don't have
Can
it.
you do it?
Don't you have someone have a rope?
It's just over there.
Yeah, but it's not enough rope. I have 20 feet.
Who carries 20 feet of rope?
You gave him 20 feet of
No.
super rope.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's cool rope, but I mean, 20 feet. Come on, you should have asked for 50 at least, or 100.
You left it.
Well, we have that
I would have given you
never-ending
more
rope
if
in
you asked
there.
for it.
Okay.
Now it's too late. You should have said, who the fuck leaves 20 feet of rope somewhere? You should have at least 50, and I would have been like, how about 100?
Okay.
But now it's too late. Now you have 20 feet of rope.
There's a never-ending rope in the wolf guy's den, but I don't think you should use that. I feel like it's cursed.
There's also the harpoon gun in the flooded passageway way back.
Yeah. No, this old dude had a harpoon gun too. That's still there.
Yeah, but old dude's harpoon gun didn't have a rope on it. It was just a harpoon.
Yeah,
Just
you-
shot.
you need to-
It wasn't a harpoon gun. It was like a spear gun.
Okay.
That's what it was.
Oh.
I called it a harpoon gun, but it's a spear gun.
All right.
That's what he shot you with.
Yeah, I know.
A couple
Several
times.
I know.
Yeah, I hit you.
I got very intimate.
I think it hit
with
you-
the harpoons.
I think it hit you in the head.
Yeah.
You were doing sounding with the harpoons.
Yeah.
By the way, don't visit our sounding. Don't
I
recommend
will
it.
not.
That link should say blue.
You told me
I'll
about
tell you
that
right
several
now.
years
Yeah,
ago.
yeah.
Cool.
Never left my mind.
Well, good.
Don't
good.
know. I don't know what that's a reference
This
to,
is-
but
this-
I'm gonna
this-
choose to not.
This is why the stream is rated 18 plus.
Ah.
Just whip your dick out in the middle of it when no one's looking, just to see if someone
No one
notices.
no one ever watches this thing, so
I know.
it's okay. All right.
But you should check out our superb owl.
Yes. Is that
Which
good?
looks
Or
like-
Super Bowl.
Yeah, Super Bowl. It's owls. Of course it's good.
The joke. Yeah. Is that?
Yeah.
It's actually
It's
owl.
our Super Bowl.
I remember the
It's
row,
a
row,
picture of
rotate.
owl.
I just remember the rotate your owl thing.
rotate your owl, rotate your owl for science.
Yeah. Do they have the? There's a thing they used to have back in the day. I don't know if they still have it. Where when the Super Bowl was on, they would also have this thing
Puppy
called
bowl.
the puppy. Do they still have
Oh
that?
yeah. Oh yeah, it's a thing.
I think that's a great idea. They should have that with blondes versus brunettes.
Okay, let's roleplay.
Well, it could be men and women. It could be both. I didn't
Anyways,
say.
anyways.
All right, fine.
So, yeah.
We are role playing. I'm the evil schoolmaster, and you are the. All right. So you are.
Just hanging out.
So is there no one's gonna go get
no
you the
one's
rope?
supporting
Yeah.
you. You're just sitting on this boat. It's mostly submerged.
You can try to climb up. the wall.
It's going to take me a lot of...
Oh, wait.
But I'd be falling into water.
Well, some parts are water, some parts are boat.
Oh, yeah.
It's about 20% boat.
Start
So
heading
there's
back
I'm
to
gonna
the
say
rope.
there's a 2 out of 6 chance that when you fall on boat.
I'm going to let them get the rope,
Yeah,
because
I'm
Josh
gonna
is
go-
finally
I'm gonna go get rope.
doing that.
But isn't it also a waterfall? Like it's not
Yeah.
just water, it's rushing water.
That's right.
By a waterfall. Which is appropriate if you're in Russia.
Ah, fuck.
By a waterfall. I'm gonna turn on this fan under the table so that our legs get cooled. I think that would be a good idea.
Right, so where are you getting rope from?
I'm gonna go search Dusty McCastle's cabin, like boat cabin, for rope.
Black Peak too?
No.
I'll go with you.
Okay.
There's a lot of stuff there. I'm sure we'll find it.
I'm sure he's got some rope laying around. Right, John?
Only 20 feet.
You have to go there.
I'm going there.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm making my way downtown.
You guys should watch out for traps while you
Yeah.
have to go there.
Okay, so you both head back there. Yeah, so you make your way back to the area. I don't know if we have the maps somewhere. Maybe the maps are there somewhere.
Usually I have. Turn in my pack. For you.
It's on the bottom.
That's it.
Yes. That it?
Think?
No, I don't
No.
think that's it. It's all right. Just keep talking and we'll keep looking as we go.
Yeah, so they make their way back there.
Yeah.
There's the leaders.
So as you get back to the encampment,
Yeah.
it's complete silence. You can't hear, except for you can hear what sounds like eating or licking or some sort of something going on. There we go. There we go. So the licking sound going on.
Okay.
Which direction is it coming?
From sort of like the center of the
Oh yeah, there's all those cans.
center of the place that you go in.
Okay. Going to ready my crossbow and
The crossbow?
my crossbow.
Okay.
I'm gonna like.
Try to use pencil if you
Yeah,
can.
I'm not gonna draw on the map.
Yeah, I was saying
the
it's
like ring.
The ring is like here.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm gonna hide to like one of the boxes towards the corner and try and spot.
Oh, yeah,
What's
it's going
going
there.
on?
There's the ring. There's the sound is coming from here somewhere.
Okay.
So you're gonna climb up on top of the boat.
No, I'm gonna work my way around to one of the boxes, like to try and peek over one of the boxes
Okay.
to see what's going on.
You see what it looks like to be a wolf, except its back leg is in a trap,
Okay.
and the trap is like a little like spring draw trap, and the chain on it is broken,
Okay.
and it's like it looks like it's being stuck on. It's not a fresh.
Do you look familiar?
Yeah, I was just
It's
thinking
not a
that.
fresh. Like there's no blood.
Yeah.
And it's like it's just dragging this leg behind it, and it looks like the the leg has grown like around the trap, and it's sort of been like stuck on its leg for some time. And it's all like its back and its fur is all mottled, and like there's like patches of like fur missing, I guess. And it's
Mangy.
like, and it's sort of mangy, yeah, and it's sort of like chewing on like a tin of meat, and it's like and you can see like it's. As it's chewing, you can see that its teeth are like, like all over the place, like really fucked up. And it's kind of like chew on it, and you can see that there's like blood around its
It's
gums.
Dirk Wolf.
I mean, it's blood around its gums from where it was like trying to like open the can, and it sort of makes some punctures in it, and it's trying to suck like the meat juices out of the puncture holes, but it's not succeeding very well. And it's sort of like it's making these sort of annoyed grunt sound.
I'm gonna approach it slowly
Okay.
and bring out a meat bone out of my pocket.
Okay.
Do you just have soup bones with you?
Yeah.
Do you now?
Yeah.
I'm gonna like train my shot on the wolf just in case.
Untwist them?
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay.
No.
We see how far you've gone.
Or how far you're willing to go when I suggest it. It's the important part. So as you approach the dog, the bone, it sort of like looks at you and kind of wrinkles its nose a little bit, and then it sneezes and it's like, and then it kind of like walks up and it tries to take the bone from you, and it's just like slobbering all over your hands. And it's like,
oh, you're really gross. You're a nasty little thing. Can I use holy on it or true sight on it?
yep,
I'm gonna do that. Do I roll it still?
yep.
And I fail by 1.
Okay.
That's a nice dog.
You're like, hey there.
Dog. That is a dog.
And it's just sort of like it sticks its butt in the air and like puts its hands down, like cross its legs, and then it sits its butt down, and it just chews on the bone and just like ignores you entirely. Like,
This dog is Lucas.
I use my pressure points to make it my friend. No.
There's only one pressure point that you can use to make it his friend, and this is this
No.
Not that kind of game.
I can't even go that far. Unfortunately, YouTube does not have the allowances for me to.
I take it back.
Yeah.
Eddie will get to it eventually.
Okay. So as you are, and so yeah. So what are you doing now?
Just gonna lower my crossbow and walk over.
Okay. What are you doing?
I'm just watching him. making
You
sure-
watching like how you're just like.
Yeah.
I'm just looking out to see if anything comes after me. I'm just
Aww.
being as lookout.
Are you down in the water?
No.
You gonna jump down and swim down? No?
I don't know how to swim.
Sorry.
I don't know how to swim.
Yeah, we had that issue last time.
Plus, you're pretty well
Full
in
plate
combat,
after
so
mergers. Can't see.
Oh yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
medium hungry.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's not
Okay.
a good idea.
And what are you doing?
So you can swim
you
around
could
a
throw
little
it.
bit.
Okay,
You
so
could
as-
throw the anchor charm.
As you're on the
and walk around.
boat and you're kind of like walking around, like the water is pretty cold. It is, remember though, it isn't salt water. Remember, it's clear water. As you're walking around on the boat, all of a sudden the boat sort of like shifts a little bit, like it sort of goes, and then stops again.
Should I just keep walking until like it sinks enough for me to grab the thing in the crow's nest?
I mean, it's not a terrible idea, but at the same time, it's going to be harder for us to get you out of there if there's nothing for you to stand on.
I'm gonna keep walking around.
Cool.
Okay, you keep walking, and the boat
You too,
it keeps moving. So we'll go back to you for a second here. So you guys have what you're just digging through, looking for.
IQ 11.
I don't know how you actually. So you're just digging around looking for a rope, or.
I'm gonna actually just hang out with Wolf Dog and I'm
Yeah.
gonna try to take the trap off of this, but
Okay.
I'm going to look for room.
If you have animal handling of any sort.
I have survival.
Okay. You can roll on survival. It would normally be nice too, but since you gave it a bone, it's +2, so it evens out.
Hell no.
No, like bad fail, or
Yeah,
just
bad.
like critical bad. Okay, it doesn't bite you. That's just good.
Okay, that's good.
You're sort of like trying to pull it off. It's just like, what's your strength? Your character strength?
It's 9.
Yeah, it's really.
It's on there.
It's not only on there. It's also like it seems the bone is like fused around the trap a little bit. So when you're trying to grab it, it kind of like looks at you and like nods your not like gnaw, but like gums your arm a little bit. Like don't touch my foot, please.
Huh.
You know.
Okay. I'm going to look for rope.
Okay, are you going into the belly of the beast again? Okay. So you go into that first level of the boat.
Other side.
Yes. So you go in here, and you can go down to the next level, and there's like all kinds of like weapons and stuff around here.
Yeah, so that's what I'll do.
You're just gonna keep going down.
So I'm going to like search until, well, I'm going to search for, roll my search on the
There's
first
also a super crazy like sword, axe, bastard sword thing, which is made out of the jaw of a super beast.
Oh, and that well that you like so much.
Yeah. My dad's standing there.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna roll search on the first floor to see if I can find any rope or anything that
There
would
is
be-
no rope on the first floor.
Okay.
I can tell you, you don't even have to roll. You're looking around, you're
Okay,
like,
cool.
there's no rope in here.
Okay,
So
well, I'll
you
go
could
up
probably
there.
cut the rope from the top and carry that rope with you.
And I'll save it for last resort.
Okay.
I'm gonna search to see if there's
You
anything
search
else.
the rest of the boat. You find another piece of rope. It's 20 feet long. So you can tie the two together, or you can take this piece, which is about 150 feet.
Yeah, no.
Is 20 feet or is 40 feet of rope going to be enough to reach me?
Like going 80 feet down.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
said last time?
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I'll cut the rope.
Before cutting,
Mm.
you pull it up.
Yeah.
Like 80 feet.
Well, yeah.
Like, what are you doing? You're cutting it and then just dropping it? Or
No, I'm like cutting it and pulling it up.
Okay. Okay. So, as you're cutting it, so Kristen, you're like out here with the dog, like hanging out. As you start like pulling the rope up, are you cutting it and then pulling it, or are you just pulling it up first and then gonna cut it at the top? What's your plan? There's no big difference. I'm just like
Because he
curious.
said it wasn't regular rope. There was a bunch of shit on it, so that we can climb it.
Yeah,
easily.
that's right. It's got like bits
So
on it.
I'm just gonna pull it first.
Okay. So as you start pulling it up, you're pulling for a while.
Yeah.
You estimate that there was quite a bit of rope like down in the well.
Yeah.
As you keep pulling it up, you've got about 200 feet of rope now coiled around you, and this rope is still coming up.
Okay.
You keep pulling it up, and then after about another 2 minutes, all of a sudden the hole here, down, like you're standing looking down and sort of pulling up the thing. This hole, like out of the top of this hole, is this red glow.
Oh my
You're
god.
bringing it to you.
As a red glow.
Letting go of the rope.
Okay. All right. You let go of the rope.
Yes.
The red glow disappears.
Okay, cool. Gotta pull up about 100 feet of rope and then cut it off there.
Okay.
And it's done.
Okay. So the rest of the rope drops down into the well.
I want to know what that was. Because I mean, it's probably not going to be detrimental to me right away. Right away. But yeah, so gonna coil the rope, like put it around my shoulder, and then.
As you cut the rope, you sort of have a feeling of like, you feel kind of empty and like lost. Yeah, some
Okay.
loss. Yeah. Yes, like.
We've all been
What could
there,
have been?
Yeah. There's Rachel McAdam on the other end of the rope.
Oh.
She was down there calling to you.
She's gone now.
She's very,
It
very
happens.
sweet. Yeah. Well, it doesn't. You didn't have to. You cut it though. It's all right.
It happens.
NBD.
Her uncle.
What?
We went to the same church. Me and her uncle.
Did she like hook you up? She's not married. Anyway,
No, the uncle's dead now.
well, it's gonna be difficult to ask him then. I think.
Yeah, and he died before she did all the new stuff though, so I think it was for the best.
Cool. Great.
Cool
If you're looking for
story,
news,
bro.
www.rosemcadamnews.com. All right. So so you coiled the rope around you. The rope is quite heavy because it's filled with like knots and seashells and like stuff that makes it
Various
dirty.
apparatus.
Various apparatus. Yeah, to make it quite. So you've got 100 feet of rope.
Yeah.
Weighs 25 pounds.
Okay.
But you got it.
Yeah.
What's your strength?
9.
Okay, it's quite heavy.
Yeah.
But you're okay.
Yeah.
You're okay.
I'll make my way
We can
back.
tie it up to the wolf.
You could tie it up to the wall.
I don't think I feel like he's not gonna be good to carry that much. He's barely carrying his own weight.
Oh, you can do it. He's friendly.
What do you
Friendly,
do?
it's me. He's
Lower
strong.
him down to me. He'll pick me up by the scruff of my neck.
And then we have to like
We'll throw him in the water.
pull both of you up.
Yeah.
No, this
I'll
dog's scared to be
start walking
sacrificed.
back to the boat pit.
Roll a perception check, please.
That is 9 on 11.
That's a great roll.
I forget.
You have
do whatever.
there's a sort of a swirl in the water, and you have a distinct feeling that you're not alone.
Oh no. Oh no.
Dun, dun, dun.
You can't
All right. I'm gonna.
You're
take
gonna
out
pull
my
out
knuckles
like
and
I'm gonna
stop
pull
it.
out my gun and start firing
Is that
fire
your
in the
roll?
water.
Is that- all right, so you pull out your knuckles. Okay.
And stop wandering around.
Okay.
And
You
just
stop
focus.
wandering the boat. It's obviously teetering on something, but.
Teetering on a crack.
Can you roll a perception check, please? You get +2 because of your current position looking down into the water.
Oh, nice.
That's a good one.
Mental math warning. So
8 on 12.
8. Yeah.
Okay. So you see, for a brief moment, moving underneath the boat, what looks like to be some sort of an octopus or a squid. You'd estimate that it's maybe.
Fucking called it.
You'd say estimate it's
Or
at
did you
least
write it?
it's at least 130, 150 feet long. From what you can sort of see.
Hey, that's like the rope.
I would like the roll, please.
Well, I'm making my way back.
You gonna tell me about that?
There is a giant fucking squid under you.
Oh God, what do I do? What do I do?
Stand still.
I'm standing still.
Climb the crow's nest.
Take him your gun. Just take the gun out. Yeah. Good night, guys. That's all, folks.
Yeah. Okay. So you are standing still. You're watching, just hanging out, chilling. You guys are walking back, I guess. Yeah. Oh no, you didn't say you're leaving. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Yeah, no, wait. Once I got the rope, I
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I want the dog to carry
Okay.
it.
What?
I want the dog to carry the rope.
The dog doesn't carry the rope, but the dog does follow you when you're walking away.
Yeah. I'm calling it gnarly.
Okay.
No, it's Parker.
That's better.
What are you talking about? Gnarly's way better. What are you talking about? Chris is always right, okay? Jeez, guys.
Too much pressure! Still calling it gnarly.
Yeah.
Gnarly the stupid wolf.
Bob Gnarly?
God damn it.
So you walk. You're walking back to the area.
Oh man, I have to fight a squid who just rolled a critical.
The squid grabs you, Jim.
Oh jeez.
Quickly, Fiona, display your dominance, Jim. That's how this
You
works.
can dodge. You try dodging.
Yeah.
Do you have
Need
combat
critical
reflexes?
success. No,
Oh, that's a damn thing.
I didn't get it. Oh, I came so close!
Oh my god!
Why'd you go down?
Oh,
the
look
road?
at that.
One
There's something
off.
shiny.
Yeah, but you didn't even try to get it.
One off.
Yeah, because I didn't realize how hard it would be.
Then you just
Yeah.
sat
Difficult.
there.
Pretty hard. Yeah.
Okay, so a tentacle what sort of like snaps out of the water and wraps like 5 times around you, completely like enveloping you you are getting squoze
Oh wow.
quite aggressively.
Yep.
And just when you have the second to be like, oh, I'm getting squoze, you get pulled back underwater. So you just see this gigantic like thing come up, go,
Oh my god.
and then the water just goes completely still.
Oh my god.
You know, he really wanted to go down there by himself. He chose this.
And why don't you guys come with me? Don't we all be friends?
We can't swim.
Yeah, no one wants to go down there.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to re-roll that?
No, I still need a critical success. But I don't want to waste it.
Okay. You get pulled underwater.
Okay.
Yeah. Roll health, please.
Don't I have a reroll?
7 on 10.
Didn't you give me a reroll when I first started?
Yep. But you can't give you can't
No.
test for it.
And I have a
Good.
new charm that
But
gives me rerolls.
For
but thank you,
being
thank you.
so wonderful,
Yeah.
then I give you some extra bonus points.
I appreciate
Maybe Bob Gnarly's gonna turn into
Maybe
like
he's also
handsome prince or
stupid.
something. And he's like, no, I'm super smart wolf. He grows a big brain.
Externally.
He was trained to slay krakens.
So did you pass your health roll?
Yeah, that's you.
Okay, so you were able to, like, as the thing wrapped around you and pulled you underwater, you were able to grab a breath.
Okay.
So you can roll. What's your health? Is it
10.
He's so dead.
Okay, so roll
No one
3
can go down
dice.
and get him.
I mean, I can't.
Can you go
I
like
got a
passed
10.
out or
Okay,
something?
so
Yeah,
you've got
so-
10, so that means you can hold your breath for 10 attacks.
But the
Nice.
tide could still carry you away.
Oh yeah.
'Cause it's a waterfall.
Okay, so you guys are back on the edge of the pit.
Oh, he's
and
gone.
you
I
see
guess
that
that's
you
it.
see that. Well, what's your character's name again?
Elizabeth.
Erzbeth's just like chilling, like you can't stuff.
No, I'm freaking out.
Oh, you're freaking out? Okay. Sorry, you didn't look very, upset. So, yeah, you say, hey, guys. So.
That was a giant fucking squid that took Eddie!
Scheiße.
Well, I guess we turn around then, because what are we going to do about this?
Leave. You
Yeah.
can leave.
Charlie, what do you think? Hey, boy.
What do you think, Gnarls?
You just like,
Can we
Charles
see?
Jr.
Is there like any visible movement on top of the water? Like,
no, you can't see anything. Currently, you can't see anything. The dog,
See the bird?
the dog pisses on your leg.
Cool.
Yeah.
Neat.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna take my eye patch off and try and see if I can see anything that way.
Okay. So when you like take the iPad off, the dog like growls and then just like runs away.
Okay.
There goes my only
You should have
friend.
peed on it first.
Yeah.
So you can see under the surface of the water is not reflective. Now you sort of like polarized. You can see under the water. You can see that there's like a gigantic squid under the water. You can also see what looks like to be some sort of you're not sure what they are, but they look like ropes moving all attached to the like underneath the water, but attached to different parts of the boat, and they're all like they all trail out of the boat, and then they all come to like one large thick strand of rope, and you can see that rope like trails off towards like the back edge of the kind of like trails. So here's like no one's ever gone like underneath here. There's actually like there's more stuff underneath. Right? You're in a pool, but there's like underneath the ground when you're walking, you can actually go inside. You can go. Put my arm on it. You can see that there's like water underneath.
There's caverns.
Yeah, it's a cavern below. Anyway, this like rope or whatever like sort of goes off underneath into the nether realms.
Okay. Can I see Eddie?
Yeah, you can. Well, you can see what looks like to be one of the tentacles is just holding something, squoze something.
Okay.
Hold me close.
Can I see any of that with my acute vision?
No, nothing. No. Squoze me now. Oh, squoze my heart.
Okay.
You're the only one that
I'm
can
gonna
do
do something
anything.
really dumb.
Okay.
If this works, you can owe me something for this.
Okay.
I look at them like, okay, give me 10 minutes. If I'm not back, leave.
I've no way to tell
10
them.
minutes?
Yes.
I'm going to be so dead by then.
No.
Like you
No, I'm saying if
no.
I'm not back in 10 minutes to leave without
okay.
me.
Oh, that.
I drop my rope. Like
The rope?
Or
The rope.
pants.
Most of my gear. I draw my sword. I drink all 5 vials of blood at once.
Oh my god.
Okay. Don't even bother rolling.
Yeah.
I am in control of the character.
Okay.
Yeah. So
TPK!
yeah. So yeah. So you basically like you tear your you're drinking. You drank the is it the human blood
Human
that you
blood,
drank?
yeah.
But it was his human. Whose blood was it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, fine.
Okay. So yeah. So when you basically when you tear off you tear off your clothes
You do. It should be
until you're naked and your face contorts and you look like a gigantic like half man bat. You're like half man, half bat.
Oh.
Oh shit.
Some kind of a bat.
A bat like man.
Is there a silhouette?
A bat person?
Yeah, a bat person. Thank you. And so and you make this like noise and you dive down into the water.
Oh my god.
Yeah, underneath, and there's like you just see like when you guys look down.
Good job.
When you guys look down, you can see there's like swirls of water. You can't see what's happening. So like swirls of water, like
You
this.
want to play some cards? Yay, more memes.
Okay, you all of a sudden you're free. Nice. Can you swim?
I can swim.
Okay, you're free.
I can do
from
whatever I
the-
want in water there.
Well, if you're using the charm, then yes, absolutely. But I didn't know if you were or not.
Just gonna swim.
Right. Okay. As you're swimming, you can taste blood, like in your mouth, up your nose. Like you are swimming, and if you guys were looking, you see just like huge pools of blood come like out of the
Right
water.
down the waterfall.
Out of the water.
I yell up to them, throw down the fucking rope! Because I don't know what's happening.
Alright, let's
I don't know what's happening.
I'm gonna.
Is there any rocks that we can tie the rope around so that we don't need to pull it, brace it?
Push it, rest it. You'll get
Pop
sick-
it.
Yeah, that's right. Well, you can tie it to Earthback.
Yeah, she's built like a tree.
Yeah.
Is there
but,
any real rocks? Not living.
You could. Well, it's 100 feet, right? So you could tie it to one of the stalagmites that are like around the top edge, and then put it over there, and you'd have to swim over to there.
Alright.
That would be the best way. Do you have knot time?
Yes, I do.
So roll it up.
What are you
Oh,
doing?
man.
We're tying the rope to something
Did you
secure.
really badly or just badly?
That was a 15 on 12.
Okay, it seems to be tied. It seems good.
No.
Do you want to hang on to it just in case?
Yeah, I'll hang on to it just in case.
Okay. So you start.
I start climbing.
Okay, so you start climbing. As you start climbing, the rope pulls out right away. You can roll on your strength, but you have to take -2 off because you're not being a daredevil.
Fair enough.
So it's your strength -2, and you roll underneath that.
Beauty.
Hey.
Okay, so you just like, and you just as he's climbing, you're just like pulling him up at the same time, like NBD. I got this.
Doing squats while you do it?
Yeah. Give my cardio work.
One arm, like, just reading a book with the other hand, like, just as normal.
Checking your phone.
As you, after about maybe, I don't know, like a minute and a half, 2 minutes, something like that, you see that just shreds of like suckers and tentacles float to the surface, and then floating up to the surface, you see what looks like to be a dead bat, like a huge dead man bat. And as you're watching, the skin of the bat like bubbles, like it's like rotting from the inside, and it burps, and the back of the bat burps open, and there's like, and you see Josh's naked body is just like
What?
floating in like the intestinal like goop of the bat.
When did he become a vampire? And why is he down there?
He did it to
Someone-
save. He did it to save you.
Oh,
Consume
Jesus.
blood.
Hold tight. I grabbed the end of
What?
the rope and dived back in.
Fuck.
Oh, what?
So is the carcass that he shed
Oh, wow.
left behind?
Well, it's not like as it like burps, and then as he like floats out of it, it just kind of like dissolves into like, I don't know. It's like, I mean, you can go fish them out if you want to like stick a stick in it and like pick it up. If you were to do that, it's sort of like rotten dulse, like seaweed, like seaweed that's got nitrogen nodules in it. Like, you know, it's got like,
Yeah.
like it's like diseased rotten flesh that's got some sort of like cancer nodes in it, like that really gross texture. Like it,
Yep.
yeah, and it's just all sort of dissolving. Yeah. You don't remember anything.
Oh, yeah.
When you do finally, you're not gonna wake up for a little bit.
Oh,
But
okay, I figured.
you don't remember anything.
Yeah. So I pick up Josh.
Well, he's down in the water. You're gonna go back down
I
there?
grabbed the rope and dived back.
Okay. So roll to not hit the boat.
Come on. 2 and 6 chance. I got 9.
9 on what for your swimming?
Sure. I
What's
passed
your swimming skill?
whatever.
What do you mean pass whatever?
10 is my swimming
Okay,
skill.
well that's right. 9 is close to failing,
Yeah.
so that's why I'm asking. So that's why you missed the boat.
All right, yeah.
You go and you pick up Josh,
Okay.
and you carry him up.
Aw, you.
You risked my life for me.
I'm unconscious.
I know, but I'm dramatic.
I risk my own death for you, Zach.
I clothe the man with the tattered shreds of clothing.
Okay.
Also, I did shed my jacket and my hat and most of the important stuff. I
Yeah.
He had like my regular clothes.
He sort of had some, like, he tore his shirt off and, like, some of his pants. You see that in his pockets he had, like, you had a charm, I think, and I don't know what else you had. He has, like, a little fisherman charm in his pocket. And I don't know what else.
That would have been in my jacket.
Okay.
Like, most of my important stuff would have either been in my bag or in my jacket. There wouldn't have been anything, like, really on my person except for, like, my lighter, but that's gone.
Okay.
I think we should drag him back into that boat.
Yeah.
Not the floating boat, but the capsized boat.
Just throw me back down the boat. That shit's unholy.
It's alright.
I take him back to the boat.
Okay. Carry him back to the boat.
Yeah.
What's your strength?
10.
You gonna bodyguard us?
And
He like throws like a shirt off and you slice it with a samurai sword. I'm glad that went on a little bit extra longer than it had to.
Was that in character?
Yes.
That should have woken me from
No,
it.
you should like wrap him in your rose and cloak. You know?
Have you claimed him as yours?
2.
I owe him a life debt.
Okay.
I can't make fun of him anymore.
I take out one of my steaks.
Okay. Oh, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so we tell you exactly what happened.
He's still not awake.
No, but you tell him.
Okay.
He consumed 5 vials of blood.
Whatever he did to save my life. I owe this.
Is he a vampire?
I don't care.
I push him away and I'm going to go and try to stake him.
Whoa! Whoa!
It's in character. I
It's
can't
totally
think of it.
100% in character.
If she pushes me away, I'm punching her.
Okay.
He's coming at Buddy with a stake here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Medium rare.
It's the only way.
Might be a little blue.
Blau. Oof.
Oh, I failed finally.
Yeah.
I'm gonna re-roll that.
Whiff what? Okay. And you have to roll. You don't have to roll holy to re-roll it, but it does take 5 fatigue off you to re-roll it.
That's better.
Well, that was a waste. You're like, I don't want to waste it on living, but I'll waste it on punching another player character in the face. Roll for hit location, please. Where's that cool little chart?
That's the 7 to 9.
The 9 main body. You just like kidney shot him.
Just like.
You're still wearing a
right
metal
in the stomach.
breastplate, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you break your fingers.
I have plasma.
Okay, then you break your fingers. You know what happens when you have you ever
you
punched
didn't
a
lose
piece
them?
of iron with oh, it's got like
I've got knuckles here.
Yeah, okay. Well,
It's just gonna
it
make a loud
bruises, it
noise.
bruises the inside of your hand.
Have you kept them on in the water?
Yeah. I was in fight mode, fight or flight.
Well, he
Then we were in captured mode.
Yeah, but he got wrapped up though.
You
so it
also
wouldn't have had any
climbed. I
chance
don't
to,
know how
like,
you would have climbed a rope with brass
That's
knuckles
fair.
on.
That's
So
Okay.
Probably.
My fingers.
yeah.
I'll
Well,
take that.
well, let's just. Okay, you take 2 points of damage to your hand. You have high pain threshold?
I do not.
Okay, it hurts like fucking crazy.
Jesus!
You've ever broken all your fingers at once, but it's not painful.
I've
It's
now
not-
broken all of them.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So it's like breaking 1, but 4 times worse.
Ooh, that's pretty
Yeah.
bad.
Seems alright.
Yeah.
I'm,
Yeah.
I'm
You just stand there and it's like, he just like collapses to the ground in front of you and you just walk over him with the straight like you're like, I don't,
I'm just watching this.
no
'cause
fucking cares.
I don't really know these guys. good enough.
I'm gonna kick him over. Just in spite.
We're just getting
You're gonna kick
bloodthirsty
him?
now.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Okay, roll, well you don't have to roll to hit him because he's on the
Punch him in
ground,
the
so
This is weak
roll your
point.
damage. What's your strength?
strength as well.
Okay, so your swing is there. For your kick is there. Swing. Where is it? Swing. 1d plus 2. You can dodge if you want to, but you're dodging it like a -4 because you're.
I need to roll 4 or under. I didn't make it.
You were close for a second.
I need to know before you roll your damage. Are you like checking your kick, or are you doing a full kick? Like, are you like, it's like, you know, like pulling a punch. Like, are you like kind of not using all your power, or are you like fully laying the boots in?
I'm gonna do like half strength.
Okay, so roll damage and then half it. Okay.
Have I gotten a true sight on him yet?
Nope.
I keep failing.
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna
Well,
try
you got one that kind of where it was like
Yeah, you remember
the struggle
we said
between
he's
light and dark
yeah,
was
yeah,
all that you
yeah.
got.
Yeah, I think things have changed.
Yeah.
So 2.
What did you roll?
2 and it'd be +2.
Yeah, so
But
yeah,
then-
2 points of damage to the main body.
I did pass it.
You did pass?
Yeah.
Okay. When you look at him, his face looks, you can see like characteristics of his face that look like her face. Like the skeletal shape of his face has, it's almost like a family, like they're related. That's how it seems when you look at him for a split second, and he seems to be, there's still like swirls of darkness, but it looks like the inside of him is glowing with light.
Okay.
Selfless acts, yeah.
I'm gonna put myself in front
Yeah,
of
Constantine.
him and protect him.
Okay. So quick, just like, do you have any weapons out, or are you standing bare knuckled?
I'm gonna have my knives out.
Okay.
Because I did get my holy skill back for some reason for doing that, so I'm going to assume it's because I did something selfless.
He's a fucking vampire. You're going to defend him?
I don't know what he is, but he saved him selflessly, and he looks like you.
I don't give a fuck
He has
who he looks like. It's what he is
the blood
that I
he
care
consumed-
about.
The blood he consumed. It was yours.
So fucking what? That means he's a fucking vampire.
The light that you have is within him.
That... What the f... Why should I fucking care? Get the fuck out of my way.
I'm just there.
What are you gonna do? Fight!
Kiss, fight.
Now, fight.
Stand downers, but he saved your lives too many times to count.
That was
You're gonna
before
command
he fucking drank blood.
Well, we don't know that for sure.
He did. He definitely did.
No, we don't know it was before he drank blood. Just semantics, really. Are you really so narrow-minded? You can't accept that this possibly evil creature did something very good for the rest of us.
No matter what he does now, later, at any moment, he could kill us all.
I would gladly trade my life for his. Any day.
You can roll if you want. If you roll on your holy skill, I can give you some knowledge as well if you would appreciate it.
The more you know.
Hey!
8 on 12.
Yeah. Okay. So he looks like it's almost like a figment of your imagination, but it's like fucking with you because for some reason he looks a little bit like your dead father.
And vanished brother.
Not really like the brother so much.
Don't talk about it anymore.
He looks
We
sort of
retconned
like,
it
like
out of
he's
the
got like you didn't notice before, like
Yeah.
or something's changed or something's different, but his facial structure really has really reminds you of your dad or your grandfather. Like there's something that is familial, familiar. Yeah, familial
familial is the word you're looking for.
familiar. Familial.
Having a stroke.
No, I'm pretty sure the word you're looking for is familial.
Yes.
Familial. And it kind of fucks you. You still have you're still like hardcore.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can still go stab him if you want, but it's sort of like this familial. You know,
I'm going to grab her
and like grab her in what way? Like
by the Or like try to like grab her by the shoulder.
So you want to grapple her.
Yeah, grapple.
So you roll first of all for brawling or for martial arts or whatever you have that is a martial art, or I mean that is like hand to hand. Do you have any?
I have. I believe brawling.
Brawling. Okay, so roll on brawling first. So you have to, so what you're doing is you're basically rolling to like grab her, to touch her, and then if you pass that and she fails to dodge, then you roll a strength check to see if you can like hold her.
Okay.
And you can parry with your knife.
11
There's
on
a few
11.
things I think I can do.
Okay, so you can dodge. So now it's up to you. He was successful, or she was successful in grabbing you or nabbing you, or hey, I think you should drop that dice on the ground again. I'm just saying you should like. There you go. Perfect. That's good.
So do I get plus 1 for that?
You get something for it. Jim, why are you bringing your squirrel?
I was wondering for a while.
You don't know what that is? That's a sheath.
That's a sheep?
Yeah, it's a sheath.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, possibly.
You need to keep Lucas out of your dungeon. He keeps dragging your stuff out here for the rest of the world to see, John.
This is you're in my dungeon right now.
No, the real one, John. We all know about the real dungeon. Yeah. You burrowed it out with a pickaxe and just...
I think we need a light on it.
No, is it getting dark?
Okay. It's getting dark.
It is.
Just getting dark.
Oh.
Just now.
That was too much too quick.
We've had some inter-party conflict before, like when I fought these guys.
Yeah.
But
This is the first time it's ever come to actually come to blows.
Yeah.
When you have a really big evil guy in your party.
I'm not evil.
You're pretty evil.
I'm unholy. There's a difference.
That's what I'm trying to get him
Intent
to
versus
understand.
nature,
That's what
sir.
I'm getting him to understand.
Your psychology. Nature versus
I'm
sir.
I'm 50-50.
I'm the monster expert here, so I'm just on that.
Then what am I? Because I'm not sure at this point.
Am I able to use cloak? Or is that, yeah?
So what
Yeah.
cloak is? Cloak is using your cloak as defensively. You've got a cloak on, you can use it defensively
Yeah.
to like wrap it around his
Ever seen
hand
the
and to
cape?
like pull him over or to stop him from grabbing
Am I
you.
able to use cloak and pressure points? Is that, can I combine those somehow?
So what he's doing right now is he's trying to grab you,
Yeah.
and you can use your cloak to counter grapple him. And if you now you roll, and if you pass by more than he passes by, then you have grappled him.
9, 10, 11, so it's the same. But
Okay.
I passed by one rather than beats.
Oh, that's fine. So then that's correct. So now, so basically you go to grab her, and she she moves sort of out of the way and like puts a cloak like around your hands and like wraps the cloak around your arms. So you're sort of like stuck, and now you can like step inside and like
Yeah.
pressure point. So what do you want to do?
I want him to have searing pain that she has to deal with rather than attack, but like short-lived, not like, oh, I'm dying, or like, oh my god, that hurts a lot.
Oh, okay, sure. So roll on pressure. Roll on your pressure.
That one.
You can re-roll it.
Okay. I'm like, I don't know
Okay,
what this
yeah,
is.
yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Nope.
So you sort of like you grappled him and you like step in and you like try to do something and you're trying to put your fingers like into like pressure
Yeah,
points sort of under his armpits,
tickler.
under her armpits, but her breastplate is like in the way and it's difficult to like get under this thick leather you're trying to push, but you can't really get to it properly. So yeah, it's now your turn. You have to roll a strength check to escape.
Can I use my turn to stand back
up? Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Should we roll initiative?
There is no initiative in
Okay.
GURPS.
based on speed?
Right.
Yeah, but since
We're
since
mid-combat.
you're sort of in mid-combat, so hang on, let me just put this in correctly here. So who took the first swing? You swung first, so Jimbo. You swung first and you missed, and then you went. Pardon?
He kicked me.
And then
Your
and then
fingers broke or
yeah.
something.
Yeah, I bruised my hand.
Yeah, that's right. You broke your hand. Ruben went, and then you went.
Well, I defended. And then
Right,
I
because there was
attacked.
like
There was
a
a break.
pause in
Yeah,
combat,
now it's
and then you went, and And then, yeah, and now it's Jimbo again.
I get back up.
Okay. Ruben, it's your turn.
Yep. So while I'm like,
You sort of like wrap, both your hands are like wrapped in her cloak. She's got it like think that she's got a cloak, and she like wrapped both of the edges over your arms and like went like and wrapped. So you're like stuck like this with her hands like under your cloak in your arm, like near under where your arms are, like up in here. Like you stand up, I'll show you. But it's like
Let's get it.
like your cloak, the cloak is around you like this, and then she's like in like this.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to give you a deep massage.
Body massage.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do the strength check.
Okay, do the strength check.
On the computer. Stop all the dildo.
9 on 12.
9?
Yeah.
On?
12.
Okay. So you managed to like pull your. So you have to let me know whether or not you would like, as like he's definitely like she's definitely quite strong in pulling her way out of the grasp. I want to know whether you're going to roll with your momentum and like try to like push her over and then like wrestle with her, or if you're going to let the cloak go, and because you're basically grappling and she's pushing her way out, but you can go with that momentum and like carry with her.
I've got a lot of hand in hand here, so just let's see. I'm gonna faint.
Explosive pizza.
Woo! I'm gonna faint.
Like a fake feint?
Yeah.
Like a combat maneuver feint?
Karate feint.
Okay. Okay.
Not the woo-hoo.
Okay. So if you karate feint, basically what you're doing is you're sort of letting the cloak go, and then as she's pulling away, instead of letting her like tear her hands out, you sort of like let it go, and she sort of like steps off balance a little bit because you're sort of like falling backwards. It's your turn.
So I don't need to roll for that.
No. Well, you can roll and feint if you.
I have it.
Yeah.
Yes, I make it.
Yeah.
I just make it.
So you're like just off. You're basically off balance for the next turn. So basically you're -2 to all your actions.
Okay.
I'm going to position myself in front of Josh and look in my bag for my friendship charm.
It's in the box of cereal.
We have friendship
We
charm.
have. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Roll 1d.
Friendship's
That's how many
magic.
seconds it's going to take you to find it.
4 turns.
Oh. I know it's here somewhere.
Guys, remember we made these
Rebecca,
bracelets together back in camp?
Oh man.
Just keep it going for 4 more
I
turns.
think we
I'm
can.
going to
I'm still super unconscious of
drop
this image.
the stake in my hand
Yep.
and quick draw my sword.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh,
Roll.
I pull out my gun!
He literally just escalated to gun violence, Jim.
Roll your
He escalated to gun violence.
roll your quick draw.
This will be the one time Ruben's really good at combat and wipes the whole fucking party.
I like the way that's like not default. Okay, so back to let you know, you would normally have -2 on this roll, but because you've got Daredevil, you've got +2.
Oh,
Because you're attacking a player character is pretty
pretty
Daredevil
good.
Yeah.
stance.
But what about the feint?
Well, if the feint was -2,
Yeah.
so he's
you're
got
neutral.
+2, so it's even.
yeah.
Okay.
So 8, 10,
10 on.
12.
Okay, so the sword appears in your hand. Which sword are you using?
I only have one sword.
Okay,
My,
you're not using your hammer, so you're using your sword. Okay,
Yeah.
it's all right. So are you using it in sword mode or whip mode?
It wouldn't affect you
Okay.
much.
So he like pulls out like this a segmented like metal whip with like
Yeah.
just that sort of appears in his hand. You can attack. You quick draw does not use up your attack.
Yeah, I'm going to attack you.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay. So you normally have a -2, but
Yeah.
and you then have a +2, so it balances out. So you're no.
This is the only thing my character's good at, so let's do this.
So, if we wipe, is it my fault or yours? That's the real question.
Yeah.
2, 6, 7
Oh, jeez.
on 13.
I told you it's the
You
one
can-
time I'm
you
really
can
good at
carry,
combat.
you've got a whole sheet of little.
Yeah.
And I don't blame you for Ben, you're playing so hard character right now.
So you
Fuck,
get,
this
you
would
get,
be the one
that's why
time.
you get +2 because of the thing.
Oh, okay, that helps.
It puts you in an advantageous position.
I got it, guys.
You still have a. I feel like you still had a. So I believe that your character has knives.
Yeah.
And the knives have like they have cords on them so that you can drop them and do
Oh,
stuff with
okay,
your
'cause
hands. and then
I did have them, but then I did pressure points, so I wouldn't
yeah,
drop
yeah,
them.
yeah. Well, they're attached to you, so they're like on things, so you can like.
So is disarming, that's an attack, that's not a...
Mhm.
Okay, so I have to... I can do half defense here, so I can still attack. Instead of all-out defense.
Well, no, you can only. Sorry. Yeah. Well, I mean, right now you're either parrying or you're dodging. You can't choose like all-out attack or all-out defense. That's an attack. That's
Okay.
when it's your turn. Right now you're defending against her.
Which one is parry? Oh, it's just there, it's not part of the list.
No, parry is a separate. Parry is a separate ability.
Okay.
You can actually. It's possible to bring it up and down. So your dodge is 9 and your parry is 9, and then block is also 9, and that's your cloak.
Okay.
So you can also see it says parry is karate. So that would be using. So as he's like attacking you with his sword, you're basically going inside the attack and like striking, like moving his wrist out of the way. You're not parrying the blade or the whip. You're parrying the arm that's doing the attack.
Okay. Then I do that.
Yeah. Just to let you know, if you fail a parry, then you take the damage to the arm that's doing the parry. Whereas if you dodge, you're moving out of the way entirely, and then you're not taking. And it's the same roll. It's the same.
Yeah.
The reason why those numbers are different is because when you level up, you can choose to level up or.
Well, I'm gonna parry because it's better.
Okay.
Oh, God. I would fail either way.
Okay. So roll for damage.
Location.
Depending on the hit location, because she's parrying, it might hit the parry. So I just need to know what the. Yeah, I mean, are you aiming for a specific body area, or are you just
No, I'm just
attacking?
I'm just-
Yeah. Okay. So then roll for. I'm gonna put it to the hand because it's.
Yeah. Sure.
It makes more sense.
So just roll damage?
Yeah. Roll damage. So the damage of your sword should it also, or the whip should have the.
Yeah, 1d minus.
Yeah, 1d minus 1. So just to let you know as well, that's also the maximum damage that it can do. It's only got the maximum it can do. Now, just to let you know, when you attack with the whip,
Yeah.
you can also entangle. Right, you can
So
like-
would I have to?
You have to tell me if you want to do that or not. Like,
Yeah,
so,
no, I'm just like right
you're just
now.
like,
Yeah.
okay, roll.
Two.
2 dice. So you take 2 points of damage to your right hand or your left hand, whichever hand would you be parrying with.
I'm ambidextrous.
Okay, so your right hand then.
Yeah.
You just put wanna do any goldfish? It's a pizza blasted.
Yeah, it's all into it.
Children's Choice 2017.
Alright.
Did someone die?
No.
Nope.
God.
Just a little bit of damage.
Okay.
So I want to disarm him.
Well, hang on a second. I give. Oh yeah. So
Oh.
it's your turn.
Okay.
It's your turn.
So I'm gonna try to disarm.
Okay.
I just drank some
You had a cigarette and then you drank some of my beer. Thanks. That's perfect.
I'm sorry.
No, I don't care. It's all good.
I
don't want
this
any
was
of your
just-
beer,
It
so
was,
it's all right.
it was on the
I don't-
right,
it
so
looks
I
the same.
I'm
They're very
right-handed, so I
similar.
just reached and grabbed.
It's all good. I don't care.
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
That-
I just failed.
Okay.
I'm gonna re-roll
I
it.
tossed it.
Okay.
That's one. That's my re-roll.
Okay. You don't actually have to re-roll. You actually
Yeah.
just choose
No,
to.
I need it.
Just to let you know, if you use the point, then you
Turn a
can
failure
turn
into
a
a
success
success.
into a critical
Oh,
success. So
okay.
you can turn that success into a critical success.
Well, I will do that.
No, sorry. You failed before.
Yeah,
So now, if you use
just
the
passed
point,
it.
you don't have yet passed.
I passed it.
Okay. So now you can roll to. Do you have karate?
No.
Okay. So then you can roll on brawling at -3, I think. -3. You get +2 still because of the daredevil, so it's -1.
Really insane.
So it's minus one.
-1 right now, yeah.
I have sadism. Does that mean I should be a little more?
9.
On?
10.
Okay. So yeah, so you, Matt, she like goes to like sort of like grab your wrist that's got your sword in it to sort of like try to like push it out of your hand, and you're just like, no, don't think so. You're in
I'm gonna stop rummaging through my bag and get the sword out. I can't engage them, right?
Go. Well, you can engage them in hand to hand.
Okay, I engage them in hand to hand. I try to disarm them.
Okay, roll disarm. Do you have disarm as well?
13.
You don't have karate. Oh, you're using boxing. Again, -1. This is the hand to hand. Normally, if you're fighting in normal.
I passed by 2.
13.
Okay, so there you go. So you failed.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you basically just like punch, like you're not wearing the knuckles, thank heaven.
No.
You punch the hand that's holding the sword, and it just like slides out of his hand. It's now your turn.
Going to try to punch him.
Quick draw grenade.
I don't have my grenades with me.
So I have sadism. Does that mean?
Sadism just means that you would be extra nasty.
Oh. Well,
But now you have to roll to see if you would be extra nasty. Of course, with sadism you can choose to be extra nasty.
Okay.
Because sadism is a disadvantage, normally I'm like, ha ha ha, you're being sadistic. But if you were to be like, I'm sadistic, that's totally cool too. That would be like,
Except
you know,
that one time you were like, yo, Josh, you can't be sadistic. You
Well,
have to roll under
because-
sadism to do this.
Right. Well, you were doing something particularly nasty. But let's say, for
Wait,
example,
was
like
I
when his character,
No,
when his
I was trying to
character,
hamstring, I was
like,
trying to
oh,
hamstring
when he got
prisoner.
knocked down, because he broke his hand and then he kicked him, that's sadistic.
Yeah.
He was already down the ground. He's like, I'm just going to take this free kick, right? That's sadistic.
Okay. Well,
So-
I'm trying to be kind. I don't want this escalating.
Well, it's already.
Yeah, I know it's already there, but I'm still
It's
trying to bring it
escalated to
down.
gun violence already.
Yeah, and I have no NPCs in the mix that I can toss in to help out.
Well,
So.
it's just
Oh,
Very
Oh,
smart.
gnarled.
it's all
No,
gnarly.
no. All right.
Gnarly comes back.
Yeah.
I just
go
pees on
ahead.
my corpse
It's,
and leaves again.
Yeah.
Oh,
He takes his eyeball back.
Yeah. All right.
It's on his eyeball.
Yeah.
No,
He's
you know,
licking
it's one
it.
of his,
Hang
It's
on,
one of his
hang on.
friend's eyeballs.
I'm going to try to punch him.
Okay. You get +2 to your roll. Well, no, add +2 to your roll. Add +2 to what skill you're rolling on. So,
Yeah, so 12
Rolling.
on 14.
so you rolled a 12,
Yeah.
and your skill is 14. Your skill is normally a 12, but it's a
Yeah.
14 now. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
I try to block
What are you blocking with?
my shield,
Okay.
and that's even.
Okay. So there you go. So you basically
Boom.
like yeah. So roll
So-
for roll for damage.
Yeah, you beat it by 2, so
Doesn't matter.
okay.
It's a block. Roll for damage.
You just punched
It just
it.
means he thoroughly punched it.
So you're rolling the
It's just
so
what
you're rolling
This is
swing.
just what happened 2 minutes ago.
Thrust. Sorry, you're rolling thrust. It's a punch.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, isn't versus defense always wins, or
Well,
like, if
in
you're
this
even
pa-
out, in like if you're even like
in this
straight even?
particular occasion, he just broke his hand because he just
Oh, yeah.
punched a shield.
I know.
But normally it doesn't happen. Normally you punch, you miss, because you don't normally block. You normally dodge. Everyone always dodges by default. But if you start blocking, if you're sword and a shield, who cares? You're using you're like swing a punch. He's like, here, hit this steel wall. You're like,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I mean, if you're to like,
One.
So you take what one? Is it 1 + 2?
No.
Your
It's-
swing?
it's-
Oh, it's
it's
thrust.
thrust,
Right.
yeah.
Okay. Yep. So you take 1 point of damage to your hand.
Yep.
It doesn't break, but it hurts.
boom.
Chris, it's your turn.
Okay, so now she's engaged with.
Aw.
So
Congratulations.
sweet.
Dun, 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 dun.
I don't think I have any. I don't have grappling. I just have straight up combat. So I'm going to be sadistic.
No. You have
I'll-
karate.
Yes.
Well, karate is better than brawling.
No, I'm not. I didn't say brawling.
Okay.
I was
No, I'm just saying because when you're using martial arts against someone that doesn't have martial arts, you automatically get they basically go to -3 to like dodge all your attacks.
Oh
So-
well, I'm saying I'm doing
Yeah.
an elbow strike to hit.
Okay. Yep.
What is not me, not face.
The head is minus. Well, face and
Go
neck are
crotch.
minus
It's
5.
already taken a ton of damage.
Groin is -3.
There's a girl as well.
Yeah.
She's a girl.
Yep.
Yeah,
So-
But
It's
she
still-
also
it's
had.
still my
she's also
Yeah,
taking
groin
excessive
No, I'm just saying she doesn't.
damage
She
to
doesn't
the
take.
groin.
She doesn't take the extra like you. When you're a guy, you take extra stun damage to the groin. So I'm asking the
I feel like at this point,
I'm gonna do just elbow strike to the whatever rando.
I feel like you should call a shot because that could end really
Yeah, I
badly for
know.
you if you elbow strike him in the chest and just shatter your elbow and then you're
Sorry.
down an arm.
I guess the face is still -5.
But I think you're wearing a helmet. I think he's wearing a helmet that has a face mask on.
Yeah,
too,
right.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay.
Arm, leg, -2.
Elbow strike to his punching arm.
Okay.
That's to -2, so. And we have to start there. Okay.
Hey, critical success.
And
Alright.
your arm's broke. The bone just flies at the front edge. Oh man, not again.
Are you gonna?
I'm the one person that can heal you, and you're trying to murder
You might
me.
as well roll.
I
I mean,
wanna-
you might fail, but
I would need to critically.
now you can't. Your bonus is not like doesn't give you any.
Bonuses to crits.
Yeah, it doesn't.
How many attacks do I get? Just one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who's leading?
Wait,
Sure,
so,
just
so
making
I'm
sure.
rolling on my brawling again? Or is
Just
it-
to let you know,
Dodge.
what an elbow
Dodge.
strike does. An elbow strike basically points in this technique allow you to strike with an elbow without the usual penalty. The only real benefit to this is it allows you to injure someone grappling from time. So if someone's choking you, you can like elbow them and then do them the same as a punch.
I just thought it couldn't.
No, it's still cool. It's still very cool.
Rule of cool.
Uh,
It's not a critical success.
You can do an arm lock. You can do all kinds of cool stuff. A finger lock.
I have knee strike.
You know, jump kick, knee striking,
That was
neck snap.
10.
It's always good.
That's a little brutal.
No, not in this kind of location. I think this is all very, very normal.
Yeah, now it is.
So what are you doing?
I was
What's the next
gonna
step in
try
another
to dodge,
PC? Is
but,
little.
it's a 7 and I got a 10. I got a 10 on 7.
And when you have to roll a 3 or 4 anyway.
Yeah.
So, can you roll on the crit chart, please?
For what? What's that?
The crit
It's probably on the, it's probably on the sheet there now.
No, it's too wordy.
You're too wordy.
Thank you.
1 dice, 3 dice?
Wait just a second. I will tell you. Yeah, it's going to be.
It's gonna be great.
Oh, it's in there. It's combat modifier. You're right there. You're right there. Right there. Hiya! Hiya!
Jackie! Thank God someone else got that.
We're about the same age, buddy.
It's.
I know, but still.
Goddamn
It's
kids.
still rough, like, it's still mildly obscure even
Yeah.
at that point.
I rewatched it a couple of years ago.
It's still so good.
It's
Right.
still so good.
What are you talking about?
The Jackie
Jack
Chan
Chan
Adventures.
Adventures.
You guys. Onward! Onward!
There we go.
Sorry. I know you're watching now. Now I'm all over it. Now I'm all over that. All right. So you are doing the critical hit table. Yeah, but I think there's a special one for unarmed. Oh no, that's unarmed critical miss. It's not a critical hit table for red. Okay.
Punch yourself.
Roll away.
3
So roll
dice?
3 dice. Yeah, you want to roll low or high.
I have to choose this?
No, I'm just saying when you roll. I mean, you don't get to choose, but I mean, if you're trying to roll low or high.
A lot of the things do nothing.
10.
That's absolutely nothing. Normal damage.
Oh, man.
But you hit. So, what location did you roll for?
It was his
Punching arm.
his punching hand.
Okay, I thought you were rolling for his face.
No.
She would have broken her
I
elbow.
would. I would
He's
have
got like
passed.
the metal
I would
face
have
mask
passed.
on.
Yeah, but
But-
she's using karate, so she could actually put the elbow like between like the. It's a crit, right? You can aim it. It's not like. Anyway, it's all good.
Great nudge.
Fighting hand, so roll for damage.
What is it?
It's your swing or your
Karate
whatever
punch?
you swing or thrust, whichever you prefer. Whatever you
Elbow
prefer.
strike. 1d minus 1 CR.
Crushing.
Yeah, so 1d minus 1. 1 damage.
Okay, so there you go. So you take 1 damage of crushing to your hand.
Take that.
Oh, that's the second point you've taken to that same hand, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's the hand that you had your sword in that got disarmed. Then someone else punched it, and then you hurt it, punching the
Yeah.
shield, and now she's punched the hand again. Or no, she elbowed the hand. Sorry. Yeah. So it is now Jumbo Dragons.
How many points of damage do you take to like a single limb before it's crippled? That would keep very
Yeah, it's a third. Well, it's a third to a limb, but to a hand, it's
Yeah.
potentially less. I mean, it's definitely getting pretty painful for sure.
Little bit of swelling. That's the alcohol. Well, of course, the alcohol is But no, that tastes like suspiciously similar to like the Coors I was drinking. It took me like
Because Coors is shitty beer, and this is really good beer.
This is
so
good.
that's
This is
even out.
This is good Coors though. Like
No,
in
no,
terms
no.
of Coors.
You should have MGD. Miller Genuine Draft.
That's my usual
That's
go-to.
good stuff.
Can I do a leg sweep?
Now,
I have kicking.
But we
yeah,
only
you
have.
can't do a leg sweep unless you have karate. Like you have boxing, you can do boxing attacks.
Boxing suite.
Yeah.
We only have 6 packs of MGD at work though. So.
You know what you can do? You can do a dual. You can do a rapid strike, which is 2 strikes at once.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't get to dodge next round, but I mean, at this point, two of you fighting one guy. I mean, like, you get 2 hits on it, right? It's minus. The minus
So
on.
sick, right, guys?
I wasn't
With
sure.
your gun.
Go ahead.
I wasn't sure that alcoholic drinks were okay because this is the first time I've seen you guys.
Yeah,
drink
yeah.
It's-
Josh didn't ask, and I didn't even realize until I pulled the second one out, so I didn't say anything. Normally it's a dry game.
Really? I've
Yeah.
had beer before. You never said
I
that.
probably
Okay.
haven't noticed, but it's not a
Yeah.
big deal. It's
Okay,
normally it's a dry game just because I find that once I open it up to like drinks,
Yeah.
everyone just gets wasted, and it's
Alright.
like it's not.
Oh
good.
yeah,
So
no, that's all.
you know what? I'm okay. If people want to have drinks, let's just have it like down to like 1 or 2 beers each, and I'm cool.
Yeah, no. Cool.
I've had games turn into like complete shit fest.
Oh yeah, no.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's
very
not-
good.
It's usually on weekends though.
Yeah. True. Wow. We're doing like bad because we're walking. All right.
It's a long day at work, so I grabbed a couple of
No,
beers.
it's totally cool. Thank you. I appreciate you. Yeah. Okay, good.
I go to grapple him.
Okay, you go to grapple.
I do. Oh, so close. It's 6 on 13.
6 on 13.
Yes.
So you hit.
Yes, it was so close to a critical.
How was
Oh,
that?
I
I was like,
I
why
had
is
to.
it
Yeah,
close
why
to
are you sad?
Aw, I almost fucking fucked up. All right, so what are you doing? You said you're grappling him.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have to dodge, or you can. I mean, you can if you have cloak, you can do that. You don't think you can really. You can like grapple back if you want to, since your strength is higher than his.
Yeah.
You can like grapple and then hope that your strength is. Because that's the thing. Like keep in mind, you've got a skill called Daredevil, right?
Yeah.
Anything that you do that is defensive, you're -2. Anything that you do that is stupid and offensive is +2. So even though you might fuck up, it's way better to be like, oh, you're grappling me? I'm going to grapple you right back. And then roll and you get +2. And then when you do a strength check, you get +2 to the strength check.
Yeah.
You could just, as he's going to grapple you, you can just take the grapple and punch him in the face at the same time and get +2. I mean, combat in GURPS is very loose, right? So I mean, he's trying to grapple you. He doesn't say he's trying to grapple your arms. He's not trying to pin your arms. So as he's trying to grapple, you can just say, "I'm not going to dodge the grapple." As he comes in, and you just like you do. He basically can't dodge, right? Because he's trying to grapple you. So you're just going to punch him in the face. And you don't have to, but I mean, you get +2 to dodge, so it's -3 to dodge. I don't know what your brawling skill is.
Next.
It's gonna be the one time where it's straight your red
Right, it's not very high, but so I mean, you could do a main body shot, and you're rolling under a 13.
Right. Yeah.
You know? I don't. I'm just saying. I mean, I'm not saying you have to do it. I'm just, you know, you can dodge if you want.
Does grappling mean you're automatically on the ground?
So what happens when you grapple? It means you're trying to grab him. If he fails the grab, then you have a strength check to see if the grab holds. So that in wrestling gives you extra bonuses on this. You don't have wrestling, so you're just using regular thing. But because he has grappling is not a boxing technique, so you can't use that either. But every different combat technique has different advantages.
Seems that way.
Yeah, so karate is an offensive skill, so it gives you a whole bunch of offensive attacks. Judo is defensive martial arts, so it gives a whole bunch of defensive. What do you want to do?
I'm going to grapple him back.
Okay.
Give him a big old hug.
So roll on.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Roll on brawling.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't even have to roll on brawling because he's brawling you back. So you just go straight to strength check. Roll a strength check.
It's not your fault, Erzbat. It's not your fault.
What is it?
It's not your fault. 8 on 10.
8 on 10, so you're rolling on 14. What's your strength? It's 12 normally,
Yeah.
right? So you're not rolling on 14.
Okay.
Because of the...
Oh man.
Oh no! I'm grappled.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fine.
You're
Yeah.
a powerhouse.
So she like goes to like grab you, and you just basically like wrap your arms around his arms, and you can just like headbutt him. He's stuck. He's completely like holding him, and he's just like.
Yeah.
You're not moving at all. You're just like completely pinned.
Yeah,
waking
no,
up anytime
I'm
soon.
going in for the headbutt.
Yeah, it's your turn. So go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going in for the headbutt.
You don't have to roll to strike. You can't
Okay.
really dodge. So just roll for a headbutt. It's just.
Can you try and block it with his face? Block the headbutt with his head somehow?
You can try. What you
I
can do.
couldn't because he's wearing a face mask.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
right.
oh,
Okay.
God.
Yeah. So roll for damage.
Oh my God.
What would that be? Would that be?
It's gonna be just roll on thrust.
Okay.
You guys are not really
Five.
good friends, are you?
Yeah. Not anymore.
No.
4?
This escalated to gun
4.
violence
Yeah.
at
Okay.
any
It's
time.
4, and then you get +2 for the helmet, so it's 6, and it's times 2, I think, because it's a face.
You're unconscious.
No, face times 2 spells.
Okay. So there you go. So you take 6 points of damage to your face.
Alright.
So you're
Health.
Okay. Yeah.
barely
I'm conscious.
Wow.
I'm gonna go
You're
ahead. I'm
definitely
gonna
concussed.
creatively say that your nose gets completely like smashed into your face. Like just
Yeah.
if you had a point of charisma, it is gone.
Oh.
Oh,
Sorry. Yeah,
Aw.
definitely,
Tyrion.
definitely gone.
Tyrion.
It might. I mean, you might heal it out, but
Yeah.
I know you need plastic surgery. It's not gonna heal out on its own. I'm saying.
At least my clothes are immaculate.
Yeah, the blood just happens to like.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's a like you guys see it. He just like wraps.
Well, I don't.
Now, yeah.
And his face just
Does the
explodes
blood,
like blood.
get on to him?
No.
Does he drink
No, the blood just like flies. It like craters his face. Like you passed. You're stunned.
Fuck.
You're completely stunned. You're still grappling him. You're still holding him. You're holding him up. If you let him go, he'd probably fall.
You probably taste iron a little bit. Just that,
If
like,
you
Griffin,
know.
it's your
taste
turn.
in the back.
Wow. So I guess I'll fast draw my knife.
Yeah, sure.
And, so I was doing karate, but this seems to be really real now.
What are you guys doing? All right. Anyway.
What?
No, it's fine.
Escalating to gun violence almost instantly.
Well,
I should have pulled
if
the
I
gun
try to
out.
do a sweeping kick,
You still can.
even
It's
though
not
there's
over
the two
yet.
of them grappling,
My next
would
turn?
that be at a negative?
That's it.
They would be at a negative to no, because you're okay. So the way that normally when you're attacking into a group that's already attacking, it's when you're shooting a gun or a bow into people that are melee fighting. Usually there's a minus to hitting because you are engaging them into melee, but because you have karate teaches attacking from multiple assailants at the same time, so you don't get any minuses.
Okay. I'm going to try.
You can even just basically, like, he's gonna have a -3 to dodge, and he doesn't get his bonus to it because he can't really get away from it while he's holding someone else.
I know sweeping kick would specifically get her down, but I don't think I would do any damage. But if I do a jump kick, I would do damage.
Yep.
And would she still fall? I guess it depends.
It depends. It's not guaranteed.
I'm gonna,
Dependent on location. So,
yeah. I'm gonna do a sweeping kick.
Okay.
And I'm aiming for the feet because that's what you do.
Yeah, you don't have
Okay.
to. There's no
Okay.
minus. You don't roll it. Just roll it.
sweeping kick to the chest.
Yeah. Yep. Just. I make
Okay.
it by 1.
All right. So there you go. So you fall down, and you drag him down with you. You both. I'm not gonna say that you like fall on each other and do a damage. You both sort of fall sideways, and you're both like lying, like grappling, like lying down. Ground fighting helps here, but it's not essential. Yeah. So you're both attached to each other. Ruben, it's your turn. You would have minuses to attack Kristen or to attack, but because you guys are both in the dirt, it's sort of evened out. So you guys can continue fucking beating the shit out of each other if you want to. I don't know what you want to do. So you could also
I'm
now
pretty
depending on what you want to do in character versus out of character. I would avoid. I mean, not only I don't give this recommendation, like, but I would avoid like killing another player character just because it's like.
Yeah, no.
It's fine to like suspension of disbelief. You want to be like, all right, this guy's a jerk. He's in my way, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But I would suggest like choking him out or like knocking him
Yeah.
out versus like stabbing in.
Real
Or like,
damage.
Yeah,
so I'm just letting you know. It's your attack, so
Yeah.
do what you will. You know.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
You can just keep like headbutting them over and over again. You know, I mean that's a pretty painful way to put someone into a dirt nap. But like,
That's so intense, though, isn't
yeah, it's like go the fuck down.
You
Ken's like, I'm
already
good,
hated
I'm good, I'm okay. You should have just pretended to be unconscious. At this point, I would probably recommend it. But I mean, depending on how proud you are. But
I'm
anyway,
overconfidence.
yeah, okay.
That's sensible.
I'm just gonna. Punch. Keep punching him.
Well, you're grappling,
Oh,
so
right,
you
yeah,
can.
yeah. Yeah,
if
okay,
you
yeah.
let go,
Yeah.
then you then.
Yeah, I'll go in for another headbutt then.
All right, roll
Okay.
damage.
So that it's probably gonna kill him.
Yeah.
And if that's
Yeah.
what your character wants to do,
Well, if he pulled the butt.
he's not. He hasn't.
Yeah, right. I know. Like you have to remember that you're wearing a helmet that weighs like 8 pounds
Right,
and it's got like
yeah.
spikes all over it.
Right. Yeah.
I would say
completely
I
get
probably look pretty out for the count.
Yeah, he's not fighting back for sure. And I think all the other characters will be standing around you, looking at you like, "What the fuck are you
This just
doing?"
keeps
Like you're
going.
just like. So I mean, it's up to you. But
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just gonna try to get back up, like
Okay.
release him and
Okay.
get back up.
okay, so there you go. So he just drops you.
Okay.
Whew.
Well, that's all over, eh, Josh?
Yep. Thank God.
Wow.
Also, I do want to note, if he does manage to try and stake me, I do have hard to subdue. I don't know if that will help in my unconscious state, but it's there.
That's
Why-
good. That's
why
good.
would
You
That's-
think it's over?
Okay, so what happens? What happens
No.
when you get back up?
Yeah.
All right. It's combat over. Or you're still fighting.
I'm still fighting.
Okay.
I'm still going for the stake.
Okay. So when you get back up, so it's not your attack. You attack him, and Kristen, it's your turn.
All right. You're like done. You're not even around.
I mean, you can always like step into ranged, like step out into ranged ability. I mean, I know you have a lot.
I know my characters say this, but how I want to play it is just to stop the combat.
Yeah, and that's fine. So sadism doesn't mean that. So see, when you just told me you want to stop
Meaning
the
you're the
combat,
worst person.
now I'm going to tell you to roll on your sadism.
Okay.
You can stop it, but it still doesn't mean you can't be like shoot it. You could, for example, so a sadistic thing that you could do would be to shoot an arrow into his foot. If you shot an arrow through her foot, so she's stuck to the ground, that stops the fight because she can't go anywhere and she's anchored to the ground. That's a sadistic thing to do. Shoot an arrow through someone's foot, or like through her, like hamstring them. Shoot an arrow through her leg.
So
You know,
I
I
that's
did that
like
to a guy once.
that's brutal, especially at close range. A quick draw an arrow and be like,
True. I passed it.
oh, that's what you sadist.
Sadism.
So that means you don't have to be nasty.
Yeah.
You still can.
Yeah, it's still gonna be nasty.
It's an
on all.
option.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean, he did
For,
break Eddie's moneymaker.
for a quick
It's
draw
gone.
arrow, do
Yeah.
I still have to have my bow out, or how
Yeah.
does that work?
You do well. You can quick draw. I think the bow that you have is a lightweight bow, so you can quick draw the bow as well. But I don't know if you have that skill yet. So.
No, I don't think I do. But I do have the knives, so I can throw my knife.
Yep.
And I guess the hamstring's great. It's good.
Okay.
Good stuff. So I'm gonna have to quick draw the knife first.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So now roll for throwing, or
Yes.
okay. You can dodge if you want to, but you're gonna be a -3 to dodge.
Yeah. Wow.
And I know you need to know, like, when you get up, were you facing her or were you facing towards him to like go and stake him?
He wanted the fight to keep going.
Yeah, I know, but keep the
Well,
fight.
no,
No, he said he wanted to stake him
I'm
though.
going for the stake.
Yeah,
That's
so
the
that's
whole
why- that's-
reason why
yeah.
this thing is
Yeah,
happening.
yeah.
Yep.
So
Yeah, I was.
okay, so then you wouldn't you probably wouldn't see it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you roll for damage.
All right. So it's a little garbled here, but I think it's either 1d -2 or 1d -3. I don't know.
Well, knife large or knife small?
Whatever
Extra
my
large.
throwing knife is.
Oh, you've got both. You can throw both.
Yeah.
Your should show range that the size of knives will not affect the throwing skill.
So it's either -2 or -3.
So you want to use a large knife or
Yeah.
a small knife? A large knife, so it's -2.
Okay, so it's 2.
There you go. So you take 2 points of damage to the leg. It goes right through your leg and out the other side. Can you roll on your health, please? Do you have any heart to subdue or roll on your health at -3?
Under a 7, bud. I'm so glad you didn't pass that, bud.
Okay, so you go to take like a step towards Josh's like prone body, and as you go to step, you just like your leg crumples under you, and you crawl, you like drop to one knee. So you can like crawl over there, but I mean I don't know what you've got a knife through the leg, you can't walk.
Are you unconscious?
No, it's his turn now.
Yeah, I want to crawl and put my body over Josh's.
So you're just gonna like hold him on the ground. All right, so yeah, and he goes and he crawls and he like limply puts his sweaty
Masculine Brazilian
masculine
torso.
Brazilian
This is the
torso.
point where John wakes me up.
Yeah.
And you're incredibly thirsty.
You wake up, you're super hard.
We'll bring more to say.
Yeah, always. Yeah, so yeah,
That's about
and
all
he's
the
lying
fire
like
left in me.
lying
I'm
on.
gonna keep crawling.
Okay, you're crawling towards him. Kristen, it's your turn.
I'm going to throw another knife at his hand, or hand. So it's just throw a knife at this point?
Yeah, can you roll on sadism again? I think the annoyance.
That's a fail.
That's a fail.
Okay.
That's a crit. I don't know, what's a critical fail?
That's almost a
17 or 18 is critical.
Okay. That's
So yeah, so you have to do something necessarily cruel, like let's say stabbing through the foot, or like stabbing through the Achilles tendon, or something, you know, unpleasant to stop him from moving.
Well, I was going to throw it at the hand. Is that not?
Well, you have to. He's still moving. You have to pin him down or stop him from moving in some
Oh,
way.
okay. I'm going to put my foot on his neck and then stab his hand.
Okay. That works.
Does that suffice?
Yeah, that's fine. Do that. I guess. Yeah.
Okay.
Roll for. We can't dodge you because you're holding him on the ground with your foot, so you can just roll for damage to the hand at this point.
Oh.
What did you roll?
I rolled a 6.
Okay. So you take. Well, you can't take that many points to the hand.
Minus
So
4. I mean, minus
Minus
2.
three.
yeah. So you
minus
the
three.
hand.
Through
A
one
knife
side.
goes like
Okay.
through. The knife goes through
Yeah.
your hand
Okay,
here,
so it's
through
three.
Ben, and like splits
Oh,
this
God.
part of your hand like open. So this part is this way. It's a huge long knife with like a thick tang blade. It just like slides it through, and you just like you go dizzy from like the pain, and you've got a foot on your neck.
You're going to need the doctor to heal
Oh, is he bloodlusting then?
He doesn't have
you. Do you have
blood.
that?
No.
Give it to
I have
him.
bad temper.
Yeah, at this point you should have it.
I have bad temper.
Yeah, well, that's why you're already being bad-tempered enough. I don't have to make you roll on that. Are you going to yield, or are you going to fight?
Yeah, I'm probably. Yeah, I'm just gonna yield.
I call in the power of friendship.
Friendship is magic.
Okay.
I call in the power of friendship.
So there's like a rainbow that like on your belly starts to glow, and then on yours there's a heart, like a black heart, like emo black heart, and your bellies and your belly you rub your bellies together and like love
He's got a
love juices. Yeah, his breaks and withers and dies, and you guys rub your bellies together and juices start to flow between the. No, I'm just kidding.
It's getting weird.
Go join the Kraken now.
So what actually happened?
Yeah, hang on.
Well, I'm even out now.
You're even down now. So yeah, basically, as you activate the charm, your charm activates in your hand or in your bag or in your wherever you are. You open your eyes and you take an actual breath, and then you just start coughing blood, and there's like blood like coming out of like various holes in your head. Like blood starts like seeping out of your head, and you're like lightheaded and all like half fucked up.
What about Ruben's charm?
What about Ruben's charm?
Because we activated the friendship charm.
Yeah, well, Ruben's charm is not helping him much right now. He feels warm, but then he realizes that he peed himself out of fright from being stabbed multiple times and beaten up by his companions.
This would have hurt him. He was truly evil, you bitch.
Oof. Harsh words, sir.
Whoa!
It's like, hey, look, he was just trying to stake me. It's okay.
I was like, I don't know that. I was
He's fucking bleeding from whatever
I just remember
the fuck you
shotgunning
did.
a bunch of blood and passing out.
Yeah, roll a health check, please. Thank you.
Hey.
10 out of 10?
Alright, you are very woozy, but you are okay.
Cool. What are my hit points like? Should I ask you that?
Your hit points are normal.
Okay, so 12 and 12?
Yeah, 12 and 12. You're completely fine. You're not really sure what sort of things are working anymore in terms of your abilities at the moment, so we're gonna have to re-examine those as time goes by. But for now, I can tell you that you're breathing again, and you're not homogenous anymore.
Okay.
And you can't see out of one of your eyes.
Oh fuck.
So.
Lost the cool eye.
Well, you can always go back to being an evil fucker as well. I mean, it's just saying
Well,
he's the one who did it. You know,
Yeah.
don't blame yourself. It wasn't a choice you made. Well, you made a choice, but you know. Yeah.
The well is awaiting.
Yeah, that's right. You can go like
Bird.
go back down there.
I'm just gonna throw myself down the well. I'm gonna hang with my dad.
Can I roll my hidden lore to see if he's still evil?
No, you can roll on your holy skill to see if you're perhaps, but you're also pretty confused. But yeah, sure, you can roll that if you'd like to.
So holy?
Holy.
Holy shit.
You can roll on your holy. It's under 12.
Oh.
16.
Now the shitty rolls come back.
Yeah, thank heavens. You're like, hello. He's still evil, I think. I want to stake him through the face.
Wait, so I'm
The
not
blood
conscious
means that he's
anymore,
evil.
And I'm still missing part of my head. Would that not mean I'm dying?
No, well, I guess. What I said to you, I said you're bleeding out of your head, you're bleeding out of all these places,
Okay.
you're fucked up, man. You took a fucked up character, you took a fucked up route, and now your friends are healing you, it's hurting you.
Okay, cool.
You're coming back too fast, man. You gotta go slow that roll. As they say, you know, slow the roll.
Okay.
Alright. Yeah, so he looks like he's like going into cardiac arrest. And blood starts seeping out of like places all over his body, and he's like,
Oh no.
Does anyone have?
I have a vial of holy glowing liquid, but it might kill him.
Well, he's good now.
good.
Is he not good now?
Well,
I saw the light
there's
in
one
him.
thing that you can do. Yeah, here, like, suck on my wrists.
Yeah,
Basically.
no.
My face is kind of pouring blood all over you.
Are you gonna pour your face blood into his mouth?
I'm not really sure about the whole mechanic of how that works.
Okay. Yeah,
so-
you didn't see that
Yeah.
happen, so.
Well, I'm fucked, so.
Well, you're not doing well. I can tell you that. I mean, you're not unconscious, but you definitely can't do first aid on yourself in this state.
Oh,
Like,
no.
You're super fucked up right now.
There's
Like, all of the wounds that you took over the last like 3 hours are
Just are all occurring at the
But
same
what you
time.
took a critical headshot from a 4 foot long spear
That pinned you to
through
the
the
ground.
face, and you didn't take the damage for it and the pain for it, and now you're taking the pain and the damage for it.
I know.
Basically, that's more or less what's happening.
There is a lightness within him.
Yeah, he's cured now. He's good.
Try the holy vial that you have.
I mean, it's a 50-50 shot at this point, so.
What do I do, my friend?
He can't speak.
Oh, you can, but he's just
Conscious.
puking
Yeah.
blood at the same time.
He sacrificed himself for you. Give him the vial.
You're like, what's gonna happen now?
I would give my life for you. What should I do?
I don't know.
Do what you want to do. You're in character, playing
Yeah.
character.
Yeah.
Do what your character would do.
That's what he's doing.
He's asking him, what should I do?
Yes.
You're watching your friend die in front of you.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have like.
He's a doctor.
Yeah, I know. You don't
I'm
have.
also throwing up a lot of blood,
Yeah.
so speaking is kind of hard.
You don't have skills to like, but you can be like, yeah, he's dying. He's dying for sure.
So are
You're like watching, like.
Yeah, you're just not gonna say anything to keep keeping up
Can we
blood.
make this faster?
Dang. You can stake him now.
Well, I mean,
You're like, oh,
He is completely distracted. We're all distracted.
no, don't be a dick.
I mean, see, if you did pull that, I'd be like, you know what?
That's hilarious. That
Not
would be
bad. Not bad.
It'd be a pretty funny way.
I'm thinking
Like in the back, like everyone else is watching, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna.
I'm thinking about it.
You are cured. You are cured. Sergey, you are cured.
Yeah, you have an action. You can bring in death. You can bring in random. I'm like, I don't know.
Okay.
You have +2 if you stake him, by the way. It's a daredevil move for sure. For sure, bro.
Just throw
Wait,
it.
aren't you still like pinning me down though?
I'm distracted.
Now you can do what you can both do what you want. It's an open table.
Do something though.
Thanks.
You can't just sit on your ass. You gotta do something.
I cut my hand and pour blood.
Oh,
Okay, cool.
No!
Y'all
I rolled
evil.
on it.
You cut your hand and you pour blood into his mouth.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So.
Power of friendship!
Oh man.
I start going towards him.
What?
I start going towards him.
Like going towards him?
No, like I'm like on the ground.
You crit on
No, you
the
got up. You said you got up. I thought you said you got up. Without
Not
no,
earlier,
no, I
before
didn't.
he got
Okay.
hit again.
Yeah, no. And I've also got like my
Knife
knife
in
in
your
your
eye?
eye.
Hamstring.
A lot of
Maybe you should drink some blood.
Blood for everyone.
Hey.
Just saying, just seeing.
We're
You might have,
specialists.
might have some good for you. So you're cutting your hand.
Yep.
So you do take 1 hit point of damage. Are you just dripping it into his hand, or are you giving it to him to suck on?
I'm holding it like to his mouth.
Oh,
Can you
man.
roll on your willpower, please? And your willpower is 10, right?
13.
Okay, for this roll it's 10. It's got to be even. It's got to be in the middle.
What are you doing?
Oh, yeah, never fail.
Okay, you grab his hand and you just start sucking on it.
Okay.
Oh my god.
And you're like chewing on it, like chewing and like and biting and sucking on his hand.
No.
Slowly the blood stops.
Okay.
Um,
I'm guessing this changes again.
and actually it doesn't change right away, but it's because of the you're doing it in a survival instinct.
Okay.
So it's not. I'm not going to move those stats around too much. Like every time anything happens, it doesn't make sense. So anyway, you're chewing on his hand. You lose another 6 hit points.
I'm in -7.
Okay. Roll a health check. -3, please.
I need to roll under a 7. I did not roll under a
Okay,
7.
you just pass it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're back to being homogenous again.
Life for a life.
And yeah, you're not breathing anymore, and your wounds are no longer seeping. Well, they stop. You stop seeping blood out, and you get up. And you're
I didn't know what to do. Sorry, buddy.
It's fine.
You're good.
No, it's fine.
I wasn't sure.
I like it better this way anyway. I like being an abomination. You don't take critical head damage. Okay.
It was like the first time this game I've taken damage, and I'm taking a lot of it.
You have. Okay, well, I'm gonna stand up then.
Okay.
I'm just gonna survey the situation because I have no fucking idea what has what has transponded.
Yeah, well,
over the
she's
past,
standing
like-
there, like super fucked. There's like, I think you're like on one knee, and you're just
Yeah.
sort of like,
Trying to get
just
up.
like looking like with sheer hatred at like both of these guys. Chris is just like, doo hee hee hee, you know, in the background, like, what happens next? Yeah, that's basically.
No, I'm shocked. I'm shocked.
Okay.
Yeah.
What happened?
You drank blood and killed a giant octopus.
This is kind of fucking awesome.
Can I laugh while I'm conscious?
No, I'll allow it.
He laughs in spirit. He gets it.
Surprise staking. Stake
Well,
the
I'm
eye.
just gonna like. Well, how close are we to like the edge of the crater still?
Are you not going to help your friend?
I know. I'm going to get my bag.
We're by the boat. We're at the boat.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go get my medical bag.
Yep.
And
just walk off.
Yeah, no, I just stroll past them. Grab my medical bag.
Your eye works again, by the way.
Cool.
Everything is like sort of more or less back to normal.
So I'm gonna grab my bag and try and help Eddie out because he's unconscious.
I take out one of my sticks.
Okay. Do you do it secretly or do you do it like blatantly?
I take out my gun! While unconscious.
Well, I don't have any.
And then put it away.
I have stealth. with that.
No. But I mean, like, you're doing. You're not in combat right now.
Yeah.
So movement, it's all role playing, right? I mean, you can be like, think of it. Imagine like we're all doing stuff, and you're just like,
Yeah, no.
in front of everyone. If you're just kind of like,
No, I take it out.
let's wait and see what we can do from the shadows. You know, or oh, you know, the two very different things.
Yeah.
Have a similar effect, but
Yeah, no, I'm doing it secretly.
secretly. Okay, the stealthy grab. Okay, his back is to you as he's grabbing his bag. He turns around with his bag and comes over and starts to help ministrates to his friend. He rolls his dice.
Okay, cool. No, I was waiting.
You don't have to wait. You can roll. Oh, nice roll.
And I passed the mass 7. 7 14.
So 1d6. Oh, it's way up. 1d6 plus 4.
I'm at 1 hit point.
Good.
How close am I to him?
You're right behind him.
Oh, yeah, I'll go for the stick.
Okay.
Oh, jeez.
Roll for damage. You can't dodge. He
Yeah,
can't
I
stop
jump, I
you.
jump
You're
hard.
not doing anything, I
jump,
guess.
I jump hard
Oh,
to
at this
that.
point.
Yeah, but if he stakes you, it doesn't. If he hits your, you have to roll
Yeah.
to see if you hit the heart.
Right.
But if you fail to roll, you still stab him, but you don't do
Right.
the thing. So anyway, roll.
Wait, so we roll for hit location?
Yeah, no, just roll
Yeah.
regular roll to strike. Roll +2 because you're being. This is Daredevil. The Daredevil gets.
So is it?
Can I pull my gun and
Is
shoot
it-
through you?
I mean,
Yeah.
At
So-
1 hit point?
I don't think you can really react. I don't think anyone can really.
So we're rolling for damage.
No, you're just rolling to strike.
Yeah.
Well,
You pass or you
11,
fail.
12.
12 on 14.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you're like standing behind him and you raise the stake up and you stab it through his heart, and as you stab it through his heart, you feel this immense pain, and you look down and you see a stake come through your own heart, and you're both like
Meant to be linked.
and it's like you look down, you're like, what the fuck is, like, you have no fucking clue what's happening, and you sort of like fall down. You can now roll on your health, -3.
Yeah, not even close.
All right.
Oh.
Shit.
Well, it's not. You're not dead. But you're not. You can't move right now. You
Okay.
can't. You don't. You think you're dead. On your character, for all purposes, you're
Okay.
dead. But
I'm really sorry, Josh.
It's fine.
Like,
so yeah. So you feel like as you're like lying on the ground, like writhing on the ground like this, you see like the dark blood is like under your skin, crawling up your veins towards your face, and it's getting closer and closer around your face, and you're just watching like, what the fuck going on? And then you see it in your eyes slowly turn completely black. Yeah,
Chosen poorly.
we tried really hard to not have that happen.
yeah.
I'm not a vampire, Ben. You should know that much. You're the expert.
I mean, you drank blood.
I'm just a Brazilian guy trying to get laid.
In the end, aren't we all?
Shit.
You have
I
to
can
state
tell-
yourself now.
Oddly enough, he isn't the vampire, but you are.
Ba, ba, ba.
Tune in next.
It's a good place to stop, but it's only 8:45, so we're not going to stop right now. Yeah, so there is story behind it, but you haven't really figured it out. But there is definitely some cool stuff that's afoot. Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, you are essentially undead, more or less. I mean, you've always had the blood in you. Your bloodline contains one of your relatives is a vampire, and they didn't want to tell. No one wanted to talk about it. It was like the family secret from like generations ago. So they became vampire hunters to hide the secret.
Overcompensation.
Yeah. So basically, what happened is when he drank your blood, he basically activated your, because whenever his character, the way his character is, it's sort of like a white, like an undead white. Basically, what happens is like by drinking whatever blood he drinks, he takes on characteristics of that host. So that's why you could like look through the wolf sign, put the wolf sign in his face and stuff like that, because he can cannibalize different body parts of different things and take on. But when he drank 5 vials of your blood, he basically activated the ancient bloodline in himself, and that's why he looked like your father, your grandfather, and why he turned into a gigantic bat, because you are somewhere in your father's bloodline there is heavy ancient vampirism that lay dormant for a long, long time, but because of his character sort of latent ability, whenever he drinks the blood, because he's an evil character, he basically takes the evil portions of that blood and amplifies it. And since he drank 5 vials, that's why he basically turned into a vampire. And then he, destroyed the thing. But that's why he looks sort of vaguely like your father. But then when you stab him, you're essentially stabbing yourself. And so basically, what you've done is you have cursed yourself. You've now basically awoken the evil bloodline in yourself. And you are now
the sleeping gene.
Yeah, you basically awoken the gene in yourself, and there is no way to reverse it. You're not. Doesn't necessarily mean that you have to like. It doesn't necessarily mean that like you have like. It doesn't necessarily mean that the character has to kill you, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you're evil, but you are like. You're one of you're probably more powerful than the vampire that runs this whole castle.
Jesus Christ!
I mean, whether or not you
That's the last time we fight you.
Whether or not you have like the ability to use it because it's like a sleeping gene, that you haven't accessed.
Yeah.
That ability is inherent within you, and so it's like more or less, like the original, like some of the original bloodline. Yeah. OGD.
Holy shit!
You're everything that you hate.
Okay.
Yeah. You can't.
You fucking hypocrite.
You can't use the hammers. You have to take like all the holy stuff is incredibly painful to you. You could use his sword. It was pretty good sword, but no one else has like. You're the only one with the cultism. I have a cultism.
I have true sight. I have true sight.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I had it once.
That is 9 on 12.
Okay, so he is so evil that you basically you drop to the ground and you puke up all your guts. Well, not your actual guts, but like anything that was in your stomach. It's like the world is ending around him, and you see like images of all of your.
He's the tower.
Yeah.
Like that, the press of.
You should throw him in the well.
Oh yeah. When I can touch him, I'm blind. I'm probably blinded too. I'm guessing.
You're like completely like screaming and like abject terror. It's like looking at like Cthulhu. Like it's like like your eyes would bleed, but it's not actual. Yeah. So Jim, you rolled a cult.
9 on 12.
Okay. So basically,
you guys high five.
You know that when you stake a vampire or when you stake something that's undead, it's not a permanent death. If you remove the stake, the person comes back. It's the same thing as those vampires that were under the water. When the water was removed, they came back because they're in a state of suspended animation. So you know essentially that if you take the stake out of him, he'll come back. I'm just letting you know that. Like, it's not a permanent state. It's definitely pretty fucked up, that's for sure. I didn't realize everyone was going to go so evil. Well, well, no, he's had it. Like, I've been waiting. I've been waiting because, and I didn't. It was just so odd the way that it happened because he wouldn't have discovered it if he hadn't drank his blood, and then that's why he sort of looked like his dad, and that's where that started coming up. But he didn't clue into that at all. So then when he stabbed him, you essentially, you basically. You have to give yourself a disadvantage called Dark Destiny, which is a -75. It's cursed, basically, is what you want.
Huh.
That's going to give you
So does that negate the Destiny Major then?
Yeah. Well, the Destiny Major is crossed out, and is now you've got a Destiny -75 point disadvantage.
Are you going to basically rewrite his character?
I'll have to. Well, the thing is that he doesn't understand.
Yeah.
His character wouldn't understand. He's still. I would still think that right now he doesn't. It's like he's gone from being a monk to being like an evil demon by flipping a coin that he didn't want to flip. Right? He has no clue what the fuck is happening, and he still hasn't even.
He must be in anguish.
Yeah, like his character is completely like just so confused, has no clue what's going on. Like I said, this storyline was something that was planned for, 6 months from now if it happens. So, if at all. But the way that the cards fell, there's no way to pull it out. And when you were telling him to like stake him, I was like, is it going to happen now, or is it going to happen? And I didn't think it was going to happen, but so it's a little bit. I know it's a lot to take in, but so.
Yeah.
Pull the wood out of me at some point.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Wait, so am I unconscious right now, or?
No, you're just like standing there, like just like you don't know what's happening. I mean, it's the complete like you don't. I mean, I told you the stuff about your father or the bloodline, and that's all out of character. You don't know any of that stuff because you haven't learned any of that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm telling you guys out of character because if you had gone like the way that I sort of plan, you never plan stuff, but when you try to plan the game to unroll, you would have learned this stuff. Or you already learned some of it, you just haven't put those pieces together. Right? I've been slowly giving you hints that some of the stuff is happening in the background, but you were going to slowly learn that you were related, your bloodline was related, and there's still some stuff that can come out, but suffice to say, yeah, you don't know because you don't know why things are the way they are, but you basically feel like this is your destiny. You are pure evil, and whether or not you choose to exercise it and try to fight these guys, or whether you choose to continue to, no one knows who you are. You just basically attack the party as your normal self, and now you're basically like evil incarnate. So I really don't know. Here's what I'm going to tell you. In terms of what's happening, you can either try to role play it if you want to. It's a pretty severe story that you have to create because I can't give you that, like how you would handle it because you're that character because you don't have any previous knowledge. You don't have the. You could. So I said you could role play it and try to figure out how it happens. These guys might just try to fight you right now. I don't know what's going to happen. You can give me your character, and you can escape, and then come back as an NPC later in the game. I mean, I really don't know what you want to do right now. There's a ton of storylines that haven't come out either. So we skipped quite a few. So
We found the secret passage all the way to the end.
yeah. It's not so much. It's not the end of the story. There's so much more story to go. It's more that you skip to the end of your destiny.
Ah, I see.
So like you've reached your final form. There's no way to go back to being good. There's no way to go back to being the Earthbet that you were. Like with his character, he's been like wrestling with good and bad because he made the decision to become to sort of embrace the dark arts so that he could fix his legs. Right? You have no choice in the matter. This is built into you, and you activated it yourself. He activated himself, and in that turn, when you killed him, it activated you. And now there's no.
So in character, I'm comfortable with this, or
Well, no. I mean, you have no clue. You don't understand what's happened. You've basically turned into like a 5,000-year-old, the equivalent of like a 5,000-year-old vampire. Like you don't understand.
So does she look like a vampire now?
Well, she's got, like I said, she's kind of stuck a little bit.
No, not anymore. But before I did the true.
Yeah. And there's some cool stuff about your character as well now that will happen. But anyway, so basically, like, yeah, I mean, you had a horribly burned face, but now like all of your blood vessels, like you can burst blood vessels in your eyes or burst blood vessels in your like you look like. The capillary. Yeah. All your capillaries in your whole face, actually in your whole body, you can't see them because they're covered up, and then the capillaries in your face are burst and are filled with like dark blood. So there's like lines of like meshwork of like moss almost, but it's all just dark.
In an interview with the vampire, they had that when they got hungry.
Right. So yeah. So that similar look. It's like all the blood vessels in your face are like burst, and your eyes are black. But you can't see your eyes are black, and you can't see that your face is burst because you can't see yourself. You feel. I can't see it. You feel immensely strong. You feel like you could. You just feel like you don't feel tired. You don't breathe. You don't feel like you hold your breath and you're like, oh, I can keep holding my breath. I don't have to exhale. You feel like immensely strong and light on your feet, incredibly fast. And that's why I ask, like, there are abilities that you have that you don't know you have, and a lot of them. And that's why I ask, like, if you can roleplay it, you can try, but it would, like I said, it would be difficult. Not only is it, I think it would be difficult for anyone to play. Even someone with like 40 years of role-playing experience would have difficulty role-playing this situation. So if you want to, go for it. I'm not taking your character away from you, but you would have to essentially decide, you would, even when the session's over, you'd have to go home and write up like pages of like like role-playing the situation so that you understand how you're going to do it. And even then, these guys like, I don't know what to tell you. I'm a little flabbergasted. I'm a little stuck right now, even as GM, because I don't have. You are still your character. I can't take your character away from you. If you want to give me your character and I turn it into an NPC, I can do that because it's easy for me to do. But you can also play it and keep it. But keep in mind that everywhere you go, everybody will want to kill you. And any time you fight any sort of evil or undead, they're not going to fight you. They're just going to let you kill them. Like they'll just stand there and you can like claw them and kill them and rip them to pieces because you're essentially their overlord. Like I mean, they couldn't hold a candle to you. You've gone from being like a 100-point character to a 1,000-point character essentially in like the space of a point.
So let's continue this fight.
What the fuck?
But whether or not you can handle it, there's you handling it as a player, and there's your character handling it as your character. Like your character might be so, like, feel so much guilt and so much like everything that you stood to fight against, everything that your family and all of your generations have taught you to fight against, you are that. So whether or not that drives you insane and you kill yourself, you run away, you do whatever the hell, you grab the stake and you keep staking yourself until you die, I don't know. Like you play in character however you think that your character would play. Imagine if you were a vampire hunter like Alucard, like any of these like crazy super Belmont. Yeah, like you're Belmont, you're Simon Belmont, you're the Belmont clan, and then all of a sudden you realize that you are the lord of the castle. You are everything that you came to fight and destroy.
You're the big bad.
Yeah.
Actually, that's one of Castlevania Lords of Shadow.
Pardon?
That's the plot of Castlevania Lords of Shadow.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't played it.
It's a pretty mediocre game, but the story is pretty alright.
Cool. Yeah, like the whole concept is that one of the original Belmont, the progenitor of the Belmont family is Dracula.
Right.
Spoilers.
Yeah?
So is it one of the 3D ones?
Yeah.
They were on sale on Steam for a really cheap price the other day. I played one of them at one point, and it just felt so. I don't want to get into that. But anyway, I don't want to stay in this space. So, what do you guys want to do? I mean, You can talk in character. You can talk out of character at this point and decide like what you want to do, because like I said, it's 9 o'clock. We have about half an hour more to play. We could finish up a little bit early if you guys want to discuss, but between sessions, essentially there might have to be some discourse to figure out where you want to move the game, because it's like I still have plenty of stuff to do here. It's really hinging on what you do and what your character does and how you want to handle what's happening.
It might be a good spot to stop.
Yeah. I'm thinking that it might be. The reason why I'm giving you the 30 minutes is so if you don't want to leave the house now, we're all sitting around the table. If you want to talk for a couple minutes and sort of break it down a little bit and decide what you might want to do, you get a head start on what you might want to do in 2 weeks when we meet up again. I don't really know.
Someone unstake me, so I need to know.
That's
I'm gonna have to roll a new character or not.
Yeah.
I unstake you and roll you over.
Like that?
Doctor!
I mean, kind of do, but
It sounds like an NPC already. Like,
It's just keep in mind that when you fight, like, I mean, for the most part, most of the player characters are mostly good. I mean, Josh is mixed, but he wants to try, and he seems like he's wanting to try and be a little bit more good, which is fine. I mean, he still wants to be a half undead, which is cool, but he's also being a good guy, undead guy. So he's not an inherently overly powerful character. If he fights alongside these guys against evil, other people are not going to are not going to question these guys fighting against evil. When you show up with them, everyone's gonna be like, "Why are you walking around with Dracula?" Like you are essentially like anyone who fights undead. It's like if you're walking around with the main boss. If you're walking around, like let's say your character, you're Sephiroth, and you're walking around with Cloud in the group like the whole game. Like, what's the point of playing the game if the end bad guy is walking around with the ground? You either have I would say like in game the options you have are either like the ultimate self-sacrifice because you can't handle it, and ending yourself in some glorious manner, or giving the character to me and I turn it into an NPC. Those would be like what I would suggest. I mean, again, like I said, I can't push you to do that because the way that the game unrolls, you are still in control of your character. You haven't done anything bad to the point that this is what you've always been. Your destiny is now fulfilled. You still are in complete control and command of your character. I'm not taking it away from you and being like, now evil, and now I get to control it. No, this is what was supposed to happen all along. It was just supposed to potentially happen in the future. But, if at all, like years in the future in your character's development. So the fact that it sort of happened now, you just have to decide. And you can talk with these guys as well to figure out like what you think that I don't understand how you would still fight alongside them and how they would want to fight.
I don't think we could. Like if you're ultimate evil, we're just gonna feel it all the time, and I think you would ultimately just eat us.
You're going to have the biggest issue with that.
And
Your character is going to have the biggest issue with that.
Oh, yeah.
I just want this guy to be okay because apparently I'm in love now. Apparently.
Well, I mean,
risked his life.
Brazilian. No, I'm going to say, yeah. I mean, you have like a friendship pact of some sort. I mean, you're Brazilian.
I'm still a loner, but I got you.
Maybe we'll take loner away and we'll give you guys some sort of like.
I was gonna say you should probably take loner off his sheet now because he like literally lost his charisma to save me. He took a shot to the face for that.
I don't know if he did that part on purpose.
No, but still.
Yeah, right. But I mean, I don't know. Like Ruben, what do you? What do you want to do? I mean, because there's no way back to the old character. If you do want to play this character, I'm essentially going to give you a sheet that is, 1,000 points. I mean, I don't know how interesting it is for you. Like we used to play. Kristen and I used to play a game with this guy named. There was a character who she played with us once. Alex. Remember the girl that played with us in the session?
Yeah.
She played a character named Marlowe, who's this big, like tough, stupid guy. And one of the first sessions of the game, she basically critted and killed a Lich King.
Yeah, that's right.
And then she put his crown on, and she became like an undead lich. And so she was like a 600-point character. Everyone else was like a 150-point character. She just basically walked through the game. She didn't have to, like, people would shoot her, like, blow her up, and she would just walk through. She wasn't a good enough role player to, like, take full advantage of it. She just enjoyed the social aspect, which really helped. Yeah. Like, if she had taken full advantage, she could have basically, like, soloed the entire game. Everyone else could have gotten up and gone home, and she could just solo the game on her own, and it still would have been a challenge. But she enjoyed the story so much that she sort of played in the background and didn't really take a lot of initiative. And we would sort of say, hey, do you want to do this? And I'd say, oh yeah, you can kill all these 100 guys if you want. She'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
It was very...
Like, this seems like really interesting to me, but like, I just don't want to be like a burden.
It's not so much that it's a burden. Think of it more that if you give the character to me, or if you kill yourself, you are not like
This is the phrase.
if you give your character to me, or
kill yourself
if you give the character to me, or if you sacrifice yourself, it's sort of like a page in the story that kind of like weaves like a tapestry. And the added bonus that I'll give you is whether you give me the character or whether you sacrifice yourself, I'll give you some extra points to make your next guy, so that you can have a character that's a little bit more like to sort of pay you for your not pay for, but like to sort of like, you know, this was an unplanned
Unscripted.
circumstance, definitely unscripted.
It was unmitigated.
I wasn't gonna hold back and not. It just has to happen. Like this is written, right? So yeah, it's so fucked up. It's just I've never had anything happen like this in a game in a really long time. Other than that game that I played with Martin once, where he had daggers that like hits blades that got shattered, and then someone else. Anyway, it was like a fucked up story. That was a similar sort of thing where you just end up in a situation where yes, you could play, but I think that you would be incredibly bored, and I also think that these guys would have like in character would really have a difficult time walking around with like you're essentially like Loki or Thor walking around with mortals.
Considered you just murdered me, I wouldn't be too pleased about that.
Like I mean again I don't really know how it would.
You just have to think. The party would probably accuse you of being like a massive hypocrite at this point for trying to murder me for being undead when you are literally Dracula.
Yeah.
It's not the hypocrisy that gets me. It's the lack of friendship.
The other thing as well, Ruben, that I want you, I know that like you're really into the story of this character and into the background, and so ideally I wouldn't mind working with you to create another character in the bloodline that has some sort of unique perspective, but it's still like, so you're still associated with that same legacy, that same family legacy, but you're not going to be tripped up playing something that is, I think, very difficult to wedge into the game. I can't take away your cheat. You have to make the decision as to what you want to do, but I think that playing it is going to be pretty difficult. So once you find out how powerful you are, I think that even in character you would be bored walking around with these guys. Like, you'd just be like, there's no challenge. Like, there's no, like, any time you come up against an enemy, you basically just, like, you come up against, like a lich. You could just be like, okay, lich, come over here. You pull its head off, and it's the end of the combat. You fly, you turn into mist, you fly through a window, and then you go, like, there's no, you know, you are a full-on, like, vampire, like, elder vampire with all the abilities of, like, the like the Council of Seven, like, from all those, like, you know, any like, you know, what are they called, vampire movies, like, with, what's her name in Undead, I don't know.
Underworld?
No, Underworld. Like all like you know, yeah, Underworld. So you know that same sort of. Again, I don't like to go to movies, but it's easy to refer to that sort of like that original bloodline of the first few vampires. The Blade movies where they fight the first vampire. Like you are, like I said, you're essentially more powerful than the vampire that is in this castle. That there's the entire boat. You know, so.
Yeah, I think I'll just give my character to you. Okay.
Cool. So yeah. So basically, Ruben's character sort of explodes into like a cloud of bats and just like screams out of the out of the room, leaving you guys in tranquility. Yeah, so when you look at Kristen's character, you can see that there's like blood pouring out of her eye sockets. Not eye sockets, like out of her eyelids.
Am I the only normal one here?
Well, I'm effectively dead.
No, you're a blood bag.
Blood boy.
Yeah. EB.
But now Josh's character has a nice tan.
I'm still dead. You didn't stake me yet.
I am staked you. I said several times.
Yeah, well, we're gonna more or less
Pretty
stop here
over.
because
Right,
I need
okay.
to meet with everyone separately before the next game in order to like sort out a few things. I think your character is pretty okay. I think like there's no changes to your character. There's definitely changes to your character, and Kristen, there's a few things that we have to discuss outside of the game. And of course, you and I have to
All this
decide
because
what
you
we're going
had
to
to
do.
jump into the water.
I have some ideas for you, but and essentially, I can fill out. So what's cool about some of the character ideas that I have for you, if you want to go with them, is that I can flesh out some more of your history through that character.
Okay.
So anyway, yeah, we can do that too. If they're okay with it, it's not, I don't want to push you into playing something you don't. If you want to play something completely different as well, you can also do that.
No, I would like to
Because I figure that way you said you're interested in continuing to play the character, but it doesn't really make much sense. So this way you still get to play that family, which is cool because I think it's neat that you played, Erzbet after playing, Igor and
like that was
so her previous character was her brother.
Oh, yeah, that's
So that's why it
almost came up because we found a bunch of Igor's stuff in a dungeon.
Yeah, and
but
she
we
didn't
didn't
see
make
it.
the connection.
Yeah, Robert, she didn't see it.
We made it.
Oh.
She didn't see.
No
She didn't
one
see
else
that.
would.
She
I
didn't
know
see the
they
gear.
were either. Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, no, everybody kept telling her to be like, yo, go back in, go back in. It's like, what?
Yeah, it didn't make sense out in character for her to go and see it. But anyway, they found her brother. Her brother got sort of dragged away as a prisoner, and then was used for some kind of experiment. But they don't know what happened.
I still think he was the armor-plated wolf thing.
We killed that pretty hard.
Yeah.
Well, no, you didn't kill it.
I punched it.
Didn't what's his name kill it?
He did most of the work, but I also punched it. I got some good punches in.
Rutgard, rest in peace.
Yeah. R.I.P.
Never forget it, Captain Rutgard.
That was such a good session. That was fun. I like that a lot. I like it when the game gets so like, the story gets so awkward that it's.
When the GM starts grinning, it's already too late.
So the next time you're playing is August 1st?
I believe.
I'm not here.
Okay. Well, I mean, you can always. I mean, I would rather wait until everyone is able to play. So, I just like. I don't think I'll be able to see. I mean, maybe I will. Like, I don't know. I just don't know how I'm gonna feel on next Tuesday.
When is the surgery?
It's on Thursday.
It's on the Tuesday.
No, it's on Thursday.
Oh,
It's this Thursday.
Thursday.
It's in 2 days.
Oh.
But I mean, it's like I have no clue what to expect.
Yeah.
It's some people it doesn't really affect them. Some people they're in a ton of pain. I might sit here with sunglasses and play. I really don't know. I won't be able to read a computer for a few days because
Right.
so.
My sister's
Well, that's 4 days.
and my sister's dog. I should get
It might be fine. I can't say
Yeah, for
yes
sure.
or no.
July
Right?
29th,
So
30th.
Well,
you know.
keep us posted.
Yeah, and I'll have to write like tonight after you guys leave. I'm gonna sort of write some emails to each of you so that you can decide what you want to do. Yours is pretty minor. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
Josh's, we have to just discuss what's happening and which way you want to go because now you've sort of a lot of the stuff that we discussed.
Am I rolling a new character? That's all I need
No,
to know. Okay,
not at all. You were close to dying. You were close to dying, and then you got you take it back.
Okay.
Sorry, you were close to dying. Well, no, if he unstakes you, you take it back.
Okay.
Yeah, I unstuck him.
Yeah. But I would think you probably unstuck him after he left. After, Ruben's character left.
Wow, my character's in
I unstake John. No, unstake Josh.
Yeah.
There's too much stress.
I'm gonna be so fucking confused in character because first I drank a bunch of blood, then I passed out, then I woke up, everyone had the shit kicked out of them. I tried to heal you, then I passed out again, Erzbat's gone.
Yeah.
And is apparently
Oh, but you know what's
Yeah, that's cool.
you know what's actually really what's super interesting is that you're now tied to that bloodline
Cool.
in a couple ways.
Hammers.
So that's
Oh, very
that's also gonna like it's just building the lore
Cool.
of the universe. So.
Awesome game.
Thanks.
Yeah, no, that was.
And it went to 0 to
Be sure to
1,000.
like, subscribe, and share.
And actually,
I almost
wanna
died
click on
like
the bell.
5 times
Get
ago.
notifications
Click
on
on
this
this
channel.
bell right here.
Yeah. You can get notifications on the channel. That would really help me out a lot. That's what all the YouTubers say. I don't monetize this shit, so I don't even bother. You know.
It's because you don't have cable and this is the only thing you watch throughout the week.
It's so fun. It's so much fun.